Mannion was not convinced. Qin Sheng had calculated the answer in an average of 2 minutes, and this was a question that required writing steps. If she chose to fill in the blanks, wouldn't it be faster? 15 minutes is too much, Mannion thought, but she did not dare to say it out loud. The other teachers and reporters did not have any more questions. No one raised any questions. The judge asked Qin Sheng again, "Student Qin Sheng, can you do it?" Qin Sheng nodded, her eyes filled with confidence. "Yes." "All right, then student Qin Sheng can go out first." Only the mathematics teacher, the expert, the judge, and the media reporters were left in the classroom. As Luo Shuwen was a teacher at H City High School, he also went out. Li Bao left early and didn't participate in the question setting. Mannion stood outside the classroom, her expression ugly. Qin Sheng raised her eyebrows and said, "Mannion, you said you wanted to apologize to me yesterday. Where's your apology?" If Mannion had not pulled the stunt, Qin Sheng would not have wanted Mannion to apologize. It was not that she had forgiven Mannion. It was mainly because Qin Sheng found it troublesome and did not want to waste time on these unimportant people. The other students looked over, their eyes filled with gossip. If Qin Sheng had not mentioned this matter, they would have forgotten about it. Mannion had accused Qin Sheng of cheating yesterday and had been slapped in the face by the Minister of Education. She had said that she wanted to apologize to Qin Sheng. Mannion's face was red. "Qin Sheng, don't be too arrogant. If you can't come up with those questions later, you'll be finished. Don't change the topic. Are you going to apologize?" Qin Sheng pressed on step by step. Mannion's face was red and her eyes were red. But at this moment, no one sympathized with Mannion. They were all watching as if they were watching a good show. Mannion couldn't bring herself to apologize to Qin Sheng. She straightened her neck and said, "Do you dare to say that you didn't cheat?" "Idare." Qin Sheng smiled. "I don't believe it." Mannion was still unwilling to apologize. Su Yishuo said, "Student He, if Qin Sheng does those questions within the stipulated time, will you believe that Qin Sheng didn't cheat?" Being stared at by so many students and teachers, Mannion had no way out. She could only say, "Yes." "All right, remember to apologize later. Don't run away." Su Yishuo smiled gently and elegantly. Luo Shuwen secretly gave Su Yishuo a thumbs up. As a teacher, he could not be calculative with students. He had long held back his anger. Now that Su Yishuo had vented his anger for him, his heart was much smoother. The teachers and experts inside had already come up with a question. Mannion did not dare to enter the classroom. She could only wait outside with a nervous expression. In the classroom, Qin Sheng was writing the answers on a piece of paper alone. She lowered her eyebrows and the shadow of her eyelashes fell on her eyelids. Almost everyone in the classroom held their breath. The young girl sat there quietly. It was a visual enjoyment to look at her. Qin Sheng's fair and slender hand held the pen and wrote very quickly. She began to write every question in less than 20 seconds. Mannion saw Qin Sheng's unhurried appearance from outside the window. She bit her lower lip and the bad feeling in her heart grew stronger and stronger. In the end, Qin Sheng only used 8 minutes to finish all the questions. She put down the pen and said directly without checking, "I've finished." One of the judges opened his mouth slightly and was shocked. "Classmate Qin, don't you need to check it again?" The judges had been paying attention to Qin Sheng. She was very fast in solving the questions, and the judges were shocked every time they saw it. She had only looked at it for a few seconds and 10 seconds before she started writing the answers. If it was any other student, they probably wouldn't have finished reading the questions at this time. Qin Sheng's speed was too fast. No wonder people suspected that she was cheating. Qin Sheng, confirmed. The expert took the paper filled with Qin Sheng's answers and read it carefully. The first question was correct. The second question was also correct. Until he finished reading the last question, there was not a single mistake. He stood up and said in surprise, "It's all correct." He passed Qin Sheng's test paper to the other expert teachers and they all nodded their heads. Qin Sheng had indeed done it all. And she had done it perfectly. When they were grading Qin Sheng's answers, the teachers and students outside the classroom came in. After hearing the expert's words, they were very impressed with Qin Sheng and could be considered to be completely convinced. Qin Sheng did indeed have some strength. She did not need to cheat. When Mannion heard this result, her face was extremely pale. She didn't want to apologize to Qin Sheng, and she didn't want the media to notice her either. She left in a hurry. On the other side, a judge said, This time, student Qin's question was given by the experts and all the math teachers present. Facts have proven that student Qin's result is worthy of the name. We congratulate student Qin for obtaining the first place in this mathematics competition. There was a burst of applause below the stage. The second round of the competition had ended. The ranking had already been announced and prizes were being presented. The first place was an honorary certificate and a prize of 70,000 yuan. The second place was an honorary certificate and a prize of 50,000 yuan. The third place was an honorary certificate and a prize of 30,000 yuan. The fourth place was an honorary certificate and a prize of 20,000 yuan. The fifth place was also an honorary certificate and a prize of 10,000 yuan. After that, there would be no rankings and no prizes. However, in this competition, the students who performed well had already been booked by some famous universities, especially the students who specialized in certain subjects. It could be considered as a guarantee. Because of Qin Sheng and Sui Xiu's astonishing performance, they became the hot cakes in the eyes of Xiangbei University and Imperial Capital University. When the award ceremony was over, the teachers from these two universities stepped forward and stopped Qin Sheng and Sui Xiu, who were about to leave. Student Qin, Student Su, do you want to come to our Imperial Capital University? We will give you the best teaching resources. The annual tuition fee will be completely free. How about a bonus of 500,000 yuan? The teachers from Xiangbei University were unwilling to lag behind. Our Xiangbei University is also one of the top 3 universities in the country. If you come to our university will give you 700,000 yuan. We will also give you a separate dormitory. You will enjoy a high degree of freedom on campus. Of course, tuition fees and miscellaneous fees will be free. The conditions offered by Xiangbei University were already very attractive. The teacher from Imperial Capital University glared fiercely at the teacher from Xiangbei University. She was too shameless, stepping on his words to compete. The teacher from Xiangbei University shrugged. Competing for talents depended on one's own ability. Imperial Capital University and Xiangbei University were both top universities in the country. They could also be ranked in the top 10 internationally. However, they were also very good at fighting for outstanding students. They would often fight over a student until their heads were split. Seeing the actions of the teacher from Xiangbei University, the teacher from Imperial Capital University was furious. He said again, Student Qin, Student Su, as long as you come to our school, we will fulfill all your requests as long as we can do it. The teachers from Xiangbei University also followed, talking about the various benefits of coming to their school. The other students were dumbfounded. They couldn't help but swallow their saliva. So this was how the two universities snatched people. They had finally seen it for themselves. However, they didn't have much of a chance to enjoy such treatment. Qin Sheng nodded and replied, I'm sorry, I want to pass the college entrance examination to a school I like. Sui Xiu gave the same answer. The two teachers. So they had been talking for a long time and almost got into a fight, but in the end, the two of them didn't choose either one? They were disappointed for a while, and then took out their business cards almost at the same time. They stuffed them into the hands of Qin Sheng and Sui Xiu, then said at the same time, remember to contact me after the college entrance exam. The conditions given to you today are still valid. After saying that, the two teachers stared at each other, the disdain in their eyes was obvious. Imperial Capital University and Xiangbei University usually had a good relationship, but when it came to stealing students, their eyes would turn red. What humility! What good brothers! At this moment, none of them existed. Sui Xiu took the business card and nodded. Okay, I'll consider it. Qin Sheng casually put the business card into her pocket. After getting their assurance, the two teachers would let them go. The teachers from the two universities left, and the media reporters swarmed up again. Students, your speed in answering questions has amazed everyone. Can you tell us how you managed to train your reaction speed to such a high level and have such high ability to solve questions? Qin Sheng, the heavens reward hard work. The reporter. If one could get such good results just by working hard, then wouldn't the world be filled with outstanding students? The reporters still wanted to continue asking questions, but Qin Sheng and the others walked past the reporters and left. The reporters also knew that Qin Sheng would not answer their questions anymore. With Sui Xiu's personality, he would not explain too much to them. The reporters did not chase after them. However, the astonishing performance of Qin Sheng and Sui Xiu today was enough for them to earn a wave of traffic. After participating in the competition and resting for a while, Qin Sheng returned to H City with Fu Hanchuan. When Qin Sheng returned to the Qin family, it was already 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The Qin family was quite quiet and there was no one in the living room. Now that the Qin real estate was in a serious crisis, Qin Hai was busy dealing with things at the company and didn't even come back at night. The last time after Lin Shia and Qin Hai had such a big conflict, Lin Shia didn't dare to make any more trouble. She was afraid that Qin Hai would really divorce her, and Qin Hai didn't come home at night for the past few days. In order to please Qin Hai, Lin Shia sent food to Qin Hai every morning, noon, and evening. Old Madam Qin had already left this Saturday. Qin Sheng had just had dinner with Fu Hanchuan outside and returned to his room. Qin Churu appeared at the stairway. Qin Churu was extremely jealous when she thought about how Qin Sheng had been participating in the math competition for the past 2 days. Why was it that she couldn't get a spot to participate in the math competition even after working hard for a year? The moment Qin Sheng came, this spot was given to her? Qin Churu was unwilling. If it were not for Qin Sheng, she would be the one participating in the mathematics competition. It was all Qin Sheng. The moment she returned, she would snatch away her things one by one. Qin Churu looked at Qin Sheng unkindly and said in a strange tone, "Our genius student is back." Qin Sheng wanted to walk forward, but Qin Churu stood in front of her and stopped her. "Get out of the way." Qin Sheng's voice was very cold. "Qin Sheng, who do you think you are?" Qin Churu said fiercely, "A country bumpkin who grew up in the countryside actually wants to steal all my things? First, my parents, then my good grades, and then, you want to get involved in the math competition? I'm telling you, you won't succeed." Qin Sheng raised her eyebrows. "It's yours. I can't take it away. Similarly, I'll take back everything that doesn't belong to you one by one sooner or later." Standing high, falling hard. Qin Sheng didn't plan to touch Qin Churu now. She wanted to wait for the day when Qin Churu became the best actress as she wished. She wanted to drag her down from that position. Qin Sheng knew what Qin Churu valued. It was nothing more than money and face. Sooner or later, she would make Qin Churu lose everything. Qin Churu glared at Qin Sheng viciously. Suddenly, she smiled and said, "Qin Sheng, is the math competition you are participating in this time very difficult? Come, let me guess. You must have been eliminated in the first round, and you are in the bottom position, right?" Qin Churu never believed that Qin Sheng could really get such good results. Qin Sheng came from the countryside. In the countryside, Qin Sheng's results were always at the bottom. In just a few days when he came to H City High School, she had gotten first place and even surpassed a publicly recognized genius like Sui Xiu? If she didn't cheat, who would believe it? If she could cheat in H City High School, she couldn't cheat in the math competition. Qin Sheng's results would naturally be a mess. Hearing this, Qin Sheng smiled faintly. "Qin Churu, I'm afraid I won't be able to do as you wish this time. I've gotten first place and also broken the record." "Impossible." Qin Churu subconsciously raised her voice. "Whether it's true or not, you'll know tomorrow." Qin Sheng pushed Qin Churu away and walked towards the room. Qin Churu stood in place, completely frozen. How was it possible for Qin Sheng to get first place? There were so many experts in the mathematics competition. Those who could participate were all the most powerful figures in mathematics in the city. Qin Churu didn't believe that Qin Sheng could stand out among the top students in the country and get first place. But when she thought of how Qin Sheng had surpassed Sui Xiu's exams every time and always got full marks in mathematics, Qin Churu couldn't stay calm. The ranking of the mathematics competition would not only be announced in the school, but the video would also be broadcast on television. It was hard to guarantee that Qin Hai and Lin Shia would not see it. Qin Churu was really worried. She was afraid that Qin Hai and Lin Shia would find out about Qin Sheng's excellence. Qin Hai was also someone who valued profit greatly. Qin Churu was very worried that Qin Hai would shift his attention to Qin Sheng. Paper cannot cover fire. Qin Churu understood this logic. No, she had to chase Qin Sheng out of the Qin family as soon as possible. Qin Churu clenched her fists. Back in the room, Qin Sheng thought of He Man Yun. Back then, Himanyun had said that she wanted to apologize to her, but she had left school early. Qinsheng was very stingy. She would not forgive those who framed her. She turned on the computer and quickly typed on the keyboard with her slender and fair fingers. Soon, she pulled up a video. It was a scene outside the classroom of Imperial Capital University. The video was very clear. Even the conversation could be heard clearly. Qinsheng curled her lips and sent it to Himanyun. I am Qinsheng. If you don't apologize, I will release this video. As soon as she sent it, Himanyun opened it and watched. Soon, her face turned pale from anger. Himanyun gripped her phone tightly. Qinsheng. Another message from Qinsheng was sent over. Remember to publicly apologize on the forum of H City High School. If Himanyun hadn't run away in the beginning, with a simple apology, this matter would have been over. Unfortunately, when Himanyun saw that Qinsheng had indeed completed the 10 questions, she ran away. Qinsheng would not let her off just like that. Himanyun was so angry that she almost fainted. She couldn't just ask her to apologize. She even asked her to apologize on the forum. Wasn't this making her lose face in front of everyone at H City High School? Himanyun really wanted to have the backbone to say, "What can you do to me if I don't apologize?" She typed out the words, but when she pressed the send button, her hand stopped abruptly. Himanyun was worried that if Qinsheng really released the video, many people in G City High School would know that she had accused Qinsheng of cheating. She would even run away when she wanted to apologize. Himanyun deleted those words and sent another message over. Qinsheng, do you have to force me to death? Qinsheng laughed mockingly. There would always be such a person in the world who pretended to be innocent. But they would never remember what they had forced others into. When others did this, it was only an eye for an eye. Yes, I want to see your apology tomorrow. Otherwise, as long as your school has a phone, everyone will receive this video in their hands. After sending this sentence, Qinsheng went offline. Himanyun was trembling all over. Ah! She slammed her phone on the ground. Himanyun had always been a cold and aloof goddess in school. Now, she had to apologize to Qinsheng in front of so many people. Himanyun was extremely unwilling. She hated Qinsheng to death. The next day, the news that Qinsheng had won first place in the math competition spread throughout the school. Liang Hua's face turned green with anger when she heard the news. Qinsheng had actually won first place, while Su Yishou, who was in class 1, had only won second place. Back then, she had confidently said that if Qinsheng participated in the mathematics competition, it would only bring shame to the school. Now, Qinsheng had won first place. Wasn't she stepping on her face? Liang Hua held her anger in her heart and took her textbook out of the office. The moment Qin Churu came, she found out that Qinsheng had taken first place in the math competition. She didn't look well. She sat down on her seat and took out a book to read. Zhao Jia was sitting next to Qin Churu. Her eyelids were black and blue. She hadn't had a good rest for the past 2 days. To those hooligans, Zhao Jia had made countless phone calls, but she couldn't get in touch. Every night, as soon as she fell asleep, she would dream that she had been arrested and beaten up by a group of people in prison. Zhao Jia did not dare to sleep at night. After 2 days, Zhao Jia had only slept for less than 2 hours. At this moment, Zhao Jia saw that Qin Churu was in a bad mood, so she did not go up and annoy Qin Churu anymore. There was still no class, so Zhao Jia lay on the table and fell asleep. The others in class 1 were still discussing Qinsheng's results. Qinsheng got first place. I can only say that she's really amazing. I heard that she got full marks in the first round of the competition. In the competition after that, her speed was even faster. She's too awesome. Qinsheng is even more amazing than Su Yishou. I'm very curious. How do their brains grow? I'm afraid Liang Hua is angry this time. I heard that Qinsheng originally wanted to come to class 1, but Liang Hua didn't like her, so she went to class 4. It's over. Liang Hua is going to vent her anger on us again. Now I regret not following Lu Ming to class 4. Class 4 has Lu Ming and Qinsheng, the 2 gods of learning. How bad can it be? Also, I heard that the form teacher of class 4 treats class 4 very well. How can it be like us being bullied here every day? A boy came over and said, I had a dream that Liang Hua was unlucky today and we changed our form teacher. The others rolled their eyes at him. Don't take your dreams seriously. They were hoping that Liang Hua would be unlucky enough to get rid of her status as a form teacher. But they also knew that Liang Hua had a big backing. It was almost impossible for Liang Hua to fall. My dreams are pretty accurate. The boy was a little anxious when he saw that no one believed him. She's here for class. Someone shouted. The group of people who were originally discussing hurriedly ran back to their seats and sat upright. Liang Hua walked into the classroom with a sullen face and looked at Qin Shuru as usual. She saw Zhao Jia, who was sleeping at first glance. Liang Hua threw a book at her and started scolding her. Zhao Jia, you only know how to sleep all day. Your grades aren't good and you even sleep all day. Are you here to study or to sleep? Zhao Jia was woken up by the hit. She quickly stood up. I'm sorry, teacher. I won't dare to do it again. Zhao Jia, let me tell you. If you dare to sleep again, I'll kick you out of the school. There's no need for a student like you in the class. Liang Hua just happened to be holding a grudge in her heart. Seeing that Zhao Jia was sleeping, she vented her anger on Zhao Jia. Liang Hua! The principal's solemn voice came from the classroom door. When he came over, he just happened to see Liang Hua throwing books at people. His expression was very ugly. Liang Hua's expression froze. She stiffly turned her head to look at the door. When she saw that it was the principal, her legs went weak and she almost fell to the ground. Principal, why are you here? Liang Hua stammered. The principal snorted coldly. If I didn't come, I wouldn't have been able to see the awe-inspiring manner in which you lecture your students. You threw a book at someone and made a student drop out of school. You're really capable. Liang Hua hurriedly explained, Principal, I'm lecturing her. Isn't she sleeping? I'm doing this for her own good. The principal did not believe Liang Hua's words at all. Liang Hua's actions and words were clearly something that she was already used to. Even if Liang Hua was really doing this for the good of the students, her method of education was not advisable. Come to my office, the principal said in a deep voice. After saying that, he turned around. Liang Hua clenched her fists. She looked at Zhao Jia gloomily. Zhao Jia's neck shrank back before Liang Hua followed him out. However, just as they walked past Class 1's classroom, a woman pounced on them. Slap! A slap landed heavily on Liang Hua's face. It's you. You're the one who seduced my husband. Liu Kui grabbed Liang Hua's collar forcefully. Liang Hua was stunned by the slap. One side of her face was very red. After a while, she finally reacted. When she saw that it was Cui Qingsheng's wife, she had a very bad feeling in her heart. She pursed her lips. Sister-in-law, I don't understand what you're saying. Liang Hua's voice trembled slightly. Liang Hua, you're still pretending. Lu Cui didn't let go of Liang Hua. I said that your relationship with Cui Qingsheng wasn't normal. As expected, you were having an affair with him. Sister-in-law, I really don't know what you're talking about. I've always treated him as my older brother. At most, we're just brother and sister. Liang Hua was flustered by Lu Cui's words. However, she didn't dare to admit it. This was a school, and there were so many people watching. If she admitted it, she wouldn't be able to survive in H City High School. You don't admit it, right? All right then, I'll make you completely convinced. Lu Cui took out a stack of photos from her bag. Look at what you and Cui Qingsheng have done. She threw the photos at Liang Hua. Liang Hua squatted down and picked up a photo with trembling hands. On it was a wedding photo taken by Liang Hua and Cui Qingsheng together. The rest were also ambiguous photos of them from all angles. It was unbearable to look at. Lu Cui pointed at Liang Hua and scolded, I thought you two were just friends, and turned a blind eye to it. I didn't expect you two to be cheating on me. Liang Hua, you're actually trying to be a mistress? Liang Hua wanted to refute, but these photos were placed right in front of her. Even if she refuted, no one would believe her. Lu Cui sneered, say it. Aren't you the best at saying things? Now you have nothing to say? Liang Hua stood up and begged, I grew up with Qingsheng. We were childhood sweethearts. It's inevitable that I can't help but fall in love. I'm sorry, sister-in-law. Lu Cui stepped forward and gave Liang Hua another slap. She said coldly, I can't help it. You even took a photo using my wedding dress behind my back and kept calling me sister-in-law. I'm afraid you even want to replace me. Liang Hua hated Lu Cui to the core. If it weren't for Lu Chui taking over Cui Qingsheng, how could she have fallen to the level of a mistress? When she was with Cui Qingsheng, she hid it every day, afraid that others would find out. She and Cui Qingsheng clearly had feelings for each other earlier, but she had to give up her position to Lu Chui. Liang Hua was very unwilling, but she didn't dare to show it on her face. Her eyes were red and she said aggrievedly, "Sister-in-law, please understand us." Liang Hua was usually good at pretending. Otherwise, Cui Qingsheng would have gotten tired of her before long. Lu Chui was even more furious when she saw Liang Hua's expression. She laughed mockingly, "Liang Hua, how could I not know that you're so shameless? You asked me, a proper wife, to forgive a woman who slept with my husband? Liang Hua, don't forget, you're a teacher." The commotion here was very loud, and the people in Class 1 heard it too. They were naturally happy to see Liang Hua being taught a lesson. As such, there was a large circle of people watching the show from afar. Lu Chui's voice was very loud, and it could be clearly heard by their ears. At this moment, all of them were quite speechless. They thought that Liang Hua had a bad temper, but she was a teacher after all, so she would have some principles. However, they did not expect her to be so shameless. If it weren't for someone who was thick-skinned enough, they wouldn't have been able to say these words. The students in Class 1 immediately started discussing in low voices. "This Liang Hua has completely changed my worldview. My God, she's actually shameless to such an extent." Liang Hua became a mistress. At that time, she was also mocking Qingsheng for being kept by an old man. On the surface, she didn't say it out loud, but some of the words she said in class were mocking Qingsheng for being kept. She was both being a mistress and being fierce. I suddenly realized that Zhao Jia was considered good. At least, she's better than Liang Hua. With such a character, how can she still be a teacher? Someone shouted, "Liang Hua, get out of the school." The students in Class 1 who had been suppressed for a long time were finally able to vent their anger at this moment. They all shouted, "Liang Hua, get out of the school. She has no ability, no standards, and her character is corrupt. A person who is rushing to be a mistress is not worthy to teach us Class 1. The students of Class 1 were no longer afraid of Liang Hua. The principal was watching them and knew who Liang Hua was. He would no longer protect Liang Hua. Class 1's location was relatively remote. It was usually very quiet, and there was a large distance between them and the other classes. However, the students of Class 1 shouted very loudly. It had already affected the other classes. The principal came over and called them back to the classroom. A male student said, "Principal, you can't let Liang Hua teach us anymore. Otherwise, I'll move to Class 4 as well." A female student echoed, "Me too." The principal nodded. "Don't worry. I won't let Liang Hua stay in the school anymore." The principal received a recording this morning. It was a recording of Liang Hua scolding the students. The principal's face was red with anger. Liang Hua had always been very professional in front of him and treated the students very well. He did not expect her to be this kind of person behind his back. Before the principal went to look for Liang Hua, Lu Chui came over and asked the principal to uphold justice for her. The principal wanted to ask Liang Hua to come to the office to settle this. After all, if the matter was blown up, it would affect the reputation of H City High School. Lu Chui couldn't wait any longer and came over early. Thus, the scene that had happened today occurred. Liang Hua heard the students pointing fingers at her and even wanted to kick her out of the school. She felt extremely wronged. Liang Hua knew that being a mistress wasn't glorious. Otherwise, she wouldn't have been hiding this matter. But being a mistress wasn't her fault. If Lu Chui hadn't snatched Cui Qingsheng away, she would have been Cui Qingsheng's wife. Others should understand her. Liang Hua said aggrievedly once again, "Sister-in-law, even if I am a teacher, I am still an ordinary person. I believe that Qingsheng hopes that we can get along well. Sister-in-law, can't we still act as if nothing has happened in the past? I will show filial respect to you." Lu Chui was almost angered by Liang Hua's shameless words and laughed. She sneered. "Fine, you're not a couple with a lover. I'm the one who broke you up. Then I'll let you two be together legally. Cui Qingsheng and I will divorce." Lu Chui was not someone who was willing to be wronged. When a man cheated on her, even if he begged her for forgiveness and made some promises that he would no longer have an affair with another woman, Lu Chui would not turn back. A leopard could not change its spots. Even if Cui Qingsheng did not get together with Liang Hua, there would be the next Liang Hua, followed by countless Liang Huas. Hearing Lu Chui's words, Liang Hua was stunned for a moment, then her face was full of surprise. Really? Of course. Lu Chui curled her lips. It's not true. Cui Qingsheng ran over. When he heard that Lu Chui wanted to divorce him, he was a little anxious. When Liang Hua saw Cui Qingsheng, her heart was filled with joy. Thinking that she had someone to back her up, her eyes revealed a hint of pride. She ran to Cui Qingsheng's side and called out softly, "Brother Sheng." She had just hugged Cui Qingsheng's arm when he flung her away. Liang Hua did not notice for a moment and fell to the ground just like that. Cui Qingsheng walked past Liang Hua and came to Lu Chui's side. He held her hand and said, "Don't divorce me. I will be separated from Liang Hua in the future. The person I like is you." As he said this, he pointed at Liang Hua and said, "She was the one who seduced me. If it wasn't for Liang Hua, I wouldn't have cheated on her. You also know that it's very difficult for a man to resist the intentional seduction of those women." Cui Qingsheng was anxious to get rid of his responsibility. He did have some friendships with Liang Hua since they were young. However, compared to Liang Hua, Cui Qingsheng naturally chose his future. If there was no woman, he could find another one. But if there was no future, then it was really over. Liang Hua's eyes widened. He couldn't believe Cui Qingsheng would say these words. "Brother Sheng," Liang Hua called out aggrievedly. Cui Qingsheng didn't even look at Liang Hua. He waved his hand and said, "Liang Hua, I have nothing to do with you in the future." Lu Chui looked at the scene coldly. "Brother Sheng, you clearly said that you would be with me forever." Liang Hua did not understand Cui Qingsheng's attitude towards her. "You also said that you would divorce this old woman in the future and marry me." Cui Qingsheng's expression changed. He did not expect Liang Hua to be so brainless. He did not really want to give up on her now. He just wanted to put on a show and wait for things to pass before they continued to be together. Now, Liang Hua was actually still trying to undermine him. What good would it do her to destroy him? Cui Qingsheng's face turned cold. "Liang Hua, when did I say that?" 5 years ago in June, Liang Hua replied. She remembered this time very clearly. Cui Qingsheng secretly kept trying to make things difficult for Liang Hua. Unfortunately, Liang Hua was slow to react and didn't immediately understand Cui Qingsheng's intentions. As if she had figured it out, Liang Hua grabbed Cui Qingsheng's hand. "Brother Sheng, you were forced by her, weren't you?" Cui Qingsheng completely detested Liang Hua. She was really stupid. He had already hinted so clearly, but she still wanted to ruin his reputation. Cui Qingsheng shook off Liang Hua. "I really like Kui. I was just playing with you. Don't take it seriously. Don't come looking for me in the future." Liang Hua saw Cui Qingsheng's cold gaze and her heart turned cold. Cui Qingsheng had always been very good to her. All these years, he had almost never lost his temper with her. It could be counted on one hand. She did not understand why Cui Qingsheng would treat her like this. Her gaze fell on Lu Chui. Liang Hua was instantly enraged. Her eyes were filled with anger. It must be Lu Chui who forced him. "It's you. What have I done wrong to you? Why did you let Brother Sheng leave me?" Liang Hua pounced on Lu Chui, wanting to hit her. "Get lost." Cui Qingsheng pushed Liang Hua to the ground again. Clap clap. Lu Chui clapped her hands and smiled. Very interesting. So a couple with a lover fell out with each other just like that. She looked at Liang Hua, who was still unable to react, and said in a mocking tone, "See, Liang Hua, this is the man you like. For the sake of benefits, he pushed you away without hesitation. As for you, for his sake, you're willing to be his lover." Lu Chui was originally very angry, but seeing Cui Qingsheng treat Liang Hua like this, the anger in her heart faded a lot. She was even a little grateful that Liang Hua let her see Cui Qingsheng's face clearly. Even if Cui Qingsheng didn't have Liang Hua as his lover, he would find another woman. But she couldn't forgive Liang Hua. Liang Hua was in a sorry state now, and her face was still full of disbelief. She didn't want to believe that Cui Qingsheng would hit her in front of other women and say such hurtful words. Liang Hua couldn't accept this. Hearing Lu Chui's words, Liang Hua's heart turned cold. She bit her lip and glared at Cui Qingsheng. "Cui Qingsheng, do you want me?" Then, Liang Hua pointed at Lu Chui. "Or do you want her?" "Cui, don't worry, I only want you in the future." Cui Qingsheng only cared about coaxing Lu Cui and did not respond to Liang Hua's words. Liang Hua clenched her fists. Cui Qingsheng wanted to hold Lu Cui's hand, but she shook him off. Don't touch me. How disgusting. Liu Kui despised the Cui Qingsheng very much. Cui Qingsheng was a son-in-law. He had married into her family. Back then, Lu Cui did not want to get married and was forced by her family to go on blind dates every day. Lu Cui became impatient and thought about which man did not mind living with. So, she found a seemingly honest and simple Cui Qingsheng, who had pursued her for a year, and married him. Cui Qingsheng married into the Lu family of his own accord. In the years since their marriage, Cui Qingsheng's presence at home had always been very low and he rarely caused trouble. Lu Cui also had a good impression of him and gave birth to a son for him. To say that she liked Cui Qingsheng, however, was not true. At this moment, when she found out that Cui Qingsheng had cheated on her, her first feeling was being as disgusted as eating a fly. She was also very angry. She had come to school early to look for Liang Hua. Wife, I'm sorry. I swear that I will take care of my family in the future. If we get divorced, our son will have no father. He is only in the 3rd year of middle school. Today is the middle school exam. Isn't this affecting his studies? No need. I will take good care of him. The middle school exam will not be affected by you, the woman said coldly. Cui Qingsheng, I have evidence of your cheating. You should prepare to leave your family with nothing. Cui Qingsheng panicked and said hurriedly, I know I'm wrong. I'll change it in the future. I'll change it, all right? Liu Kui smiled. No, you're too dirty. You've slept with other women countless times. I won't take it anymore. Lu Cui was a neat freak. She couldn't accept a man who had slept with other women no matter what. She said again, Cui Qingsheng, your position as the dean of the Academic Affairs Office was earned for you by my family. You have to return it. Cui Qingsheng glared at her. He didn't expect her to be so heartless. Wasn't his high income because of this position as the dean of the Academic Affairs Office? If he went out with nothing and lost his job as the dean of the Academic Affairs Office, then he would have nothing. Cui Qingsheng had an academic degree and many years of work experience. It was not difficult to find a good job. However, Cui Qingsheng was already used to commanding others. After standing at the top for a long time, he was not willing to do the work of subordinates. This was the so-called from frugality to extravagance, from extravagance to frugality was really true. Cui Qingsheng clenched his fists. He was very angry, but he did not dare to hit Lu Cui. He said with a sullen face, it's better not to be too ruthless. Lu Cui smiled and whispered something to Cui Qingsheng. Cui Qingsheng's expression changed. Seeing that Cui Qingsheng had become obedient, Lu Cui turned to the principal. Principal, Liang Hua only studied up to junior college. With her education, she can't enter H City High School. You'd better look into it. Liang Hua was also a little afraid. If she was really found out that Cui Qingsheng had used his private power to let her enter H City High School to teach, she would be finished. Liang Hua looked at the principal nervously. The principal watched the whole scene from the side and wiped the cold sweat from his forehead. What kind of torture was this? Did she have to do this in the school, or in front of so many students and teachers? Could he still have the reputation of the school? Could he still be the principal? The principal tried to stop them, but he couldn't stop them, so he gave up. At this moment, Lu Cui said this, and he hurriedly replied, Liang Hua's conduct is improper, and I will report it. Liang Hua will definitely be punished. If it's light, she will be kicked out of the school, and if it's heavy, she will have her teacher's license revoked. The principal had already confirmed that Liang Hua would have her teacher's license revoked. Putting aside the fact that Liang Hua had become a mistress with a husband and had relied on her connections to enter H City High School to teach, just the way Liang Hua treated her students could remove this layer of Liang Hua's identity as a teacher. When Liang Hua heard this, she was completely flustered. She only knew how to teach. What else could she do after her teacher qualification was revoked? Moreover, she had only studied at a third-rate university. It would be very difficult for her to find a good job. Liang Hua stood up and grabbed the principal's arm. She pleaded, Principal, I know I'm wrong. I've taught in H City High School for so many years. Even if I haven't contributed much, I've worked hard. If you let me stay in the school, I'll change. The principal pulled away Liang Hua's hand and said without hesitation, "I'll report the truth." Liang Hua fell to the ground weakly. Her face was pale. It was gone. Everything was gone. Cui Qingsheng hated her. Her job was gone, her qualification certificate was gone, and everything was gone. Lu Cui took one last look at Cui Qingsheng and Liang Hua, who was sitting on the ground. She sneered and left in her high heels. Lu Cui was now in her 30s. She was used to taking care of herself. She was very young and could not be considered beautiful, but she had some temperament. Cui Qingsheng looked at Lu Cui's back as she left. He was extremely regretful. No matter how Liang Hua pretended, she had a petty temperament. Lu Cui was different. She had received a good education since she was young and was very elegant. Why did he fall in love with Liang Hua in the first place? Cui Qingsheng looked at Liang Hua. His usually tender and affectionate eyes were filled with gloom. He walked towards Liang Hua step by step. Liang Hua saw the look in Cui Qingsheng's eyes and felt some fear in her heart. She pushed back and asked warily, "What are you going to do?" Cui Qingsheng squatted down and pinched Liang Hua's chin. In a deep voice, he said, "Now that my position as Dean of the Academic Affairs Office is going to be gone, I'm leaving with nothing. Are you satisfied? Brainless woman, if it weren't for you making such a scene, how would I have ended up in this situation?" Usually, Cui Qingsheng spent money lavishly and basically didn't have any savings. Right now, he only had 10,000 yuan on him. This amount of money wasn't enough for Cui Qingsheng to spend for 10 days. Cui Qingsheng was now almost forced into a dead end. Liang Hua also had no way out. Her feelings for Cui Qingsheng had disappeared completely. Instead, she was very resentful towards Cui Qingsheng. When disaster struck, they would fly off on their own. This was how it was. Liang Hua straightened her neck. "Cui Qingsheng, I've been kicked out of the school and my teacher qualification certificate is about to be lost. Do you think I'm having an easy time?" Slap! Cui Qingsheng gave Liang Hua a heavy slap on the face. He gritted his teeth. B*TCH. "Ah, Cui Qingsheng, I'm not done with you." Liang Hua pounced on Cui Qingsheng and started to fight. Actually, Liang Hua didn't really like Cui Qingsheng. It was just that Liang Hua saw that Cui Qingsheng had become the dean of the Academic Affairs Office and his family was rich, so Liang Hua followed him. However, Cui Qingsheng had nothing now, so Liang Hua didn't need to curry favor with him anymore. Now, they had turned hostile. The two of them were fighting fiercely. The principal was rubbing his forehead, feeling a headache. It was embarrassing. It was really too embarrassing. If word got out, H City High School would be laughed at by many people. The principal went up to stop them. "Liang Hua, Cui Qingsheng, stop right now." However, the two of them were so angry that their eyes turned red. They completely ignored the principal's words. It was already time for class to end. Many students were watching from the side. Liang Hua was from the 3rd grade of H City High School. She was one of the teachers that the students hated the most. At this moment, when they saw Liang Hua being beaten up, they did not stop Cui Qingsheng. Instead, the excitement in their eyes was obvious. This is too satisfying. Let's see if Liang Hua still dares to be arrogant. This must be the dean of the Academic Affairs Office. He usually has his eyes high up and a big head. Even when we went to look for him, he did not have a good expression. By the way, why did the two of them start fighting? I guess Liang Hua and the dean of the Academic Affairs Office have a deep relationship. Now they are on bad terms. The students in Class 1 who knew the inside story explained to them, Liang Hua and the dean of the Academic Affairs Office were having an affair. They were discovered by the wife of the dean of the Academic Affairs Office. They found Liang Hua to settle the score. They must be having a hard time. F***CK, this is too explosive. Liang Hua looked serious. I didn't expect her to be a mistress. Zhao Jia and Qin Churu also came over. The corners of Qin Churu's lips curled up in disdain. She felt a sense of satisfaction from getting her revenge. It seemed that she was a lucky star. Liang Hua had offended her, so she had received her retribution. Zhao Jia also felt a little happy as she watched, but she wasn't happy at all. She had a feeling that the next person to be dealt with would be her. The principal looked at the students around him who were pointing at Liang Hua and whispering to each other. He felt even more troubled. He took out his cell phone and made a call. Get the security guards over here. The security guards quickly rushed over. Pull them away, the principal instructed. The security guards pulled them away. The two of them were in a sorry state. The corner of Liang Hua's lips swelled up high, and there were bruises on her forehead. Cui Qingsheng was not much better. There were countless nail marks on his face, and blood oozed out from the wounds. He looked very terrifying. Liang Hua had just pulled his hair, and it was very painful. The two of them were pulled by the security guards, and they didn't forget to scold each other. Liang Hua, I'm not done with you. Cui Qingsheng, I should be the one telling you this. You're the one who went out to look for a mistress and cheated on her. Are you blaming me? The principal had a headache. Chase them out of the school. The two of them were dragged out of the school by the security guards. From afar, they could still be heard cursing and swearing. The principal said to the surrounding students, "This matter cannot be spread outside the school." The students obediently agreed. However, this did not prevent them from spreading the news within the school and treating it as a joke. After Lin Feng and Lu Ming finished watching this good show, they ran back to class 4. Sister Sheng. Lin Feng ran faster than Lu Ming. He was the first to return to the classroom. He did not even bother to catch his breath as he gossiped. Liang Hua has been taken away. I reckon that she won't be able to come to our school to be a teacher in the future. Lu Ming also rushed back. Sheng, let me tell you. Lin Feng and Lu Ming spoke one sentence after another, completely explaining their understanding of the situation. They even made some movements. Huang Xiaoyang widened her eyes. Why didn't you guys let me watch such a good show? Lin Feng scratched his head. Didn't we forget about it? Huang Xiaoyang was in a good mood when she heard the news, so she did not argue with Lin Feng. She smiled and said, "This is great. Liang Hua has left. This is so King satisfying." Back then, Sheng was vilified by her. She slandered Sheng for cheating and deliberately made things difficult for her. I was so angry. This bad person has bad karma. Qingsheng did not say anything. Her heart was very warm. She could roughly guess who did this. Who else could it be other than him? Lin Feng wrapped his arms around Lu Ming's neck. Lu Ming, don't tell me you want to go back to class 1? Lu Ming and Lin Feng's personalities were similar. They were both temperamental, and the two of them could be considered to have similar interests. As a result, once Lu Ming reached class 4, he started hanging out with Lin Feng. If Lu Ming had not transferred from class 1, Lin Feng would not have known that Lu Ming had such a personality. He had King thought that Lu Ming was a cold and aloof top student. He did not expect that he was also someone who liked to play and joke. If Lu Ming returned to class 1, Lin Feng would be a little reluctant to part with him. Lin Feng had always thought that Lu Ming came to class 4 because of Liang Hua and that if Liang Hua left, Lu Ming would naturally return. Hearing this, Lu Ming kicked Lin Feng, and Lin Feng almost fell to the ground. Why did you kick me? Lin Feng glared at him. Lu Ming rolled his eyes at him. Are you stupid? It wasn't easy for me to get out of class 1. Why would I go back? Lu Ming first came to class 4 because of Qingsheng and Fu Hanchuan. But over the past few days, he had fallen in love with the atmosphere of class 4. There was no infighting in the study. Everyone was quite united. Usually, when it was time to make a fuss, they would go crazy. But when it was time to study, the study atmosphere was no worse than class 1. Now, even if Fu Hanchuan and Qingsheng were not in class 4, Lu Ming would not leave. Hearing Lu Ming's words, Lin Feng heaved a sigh of relief and said, "Isn't it because Liang Hua has been kicked out of the school? I'm worried that you will return to class 1. After all, class 1 is the best class in H City High School. If word gets out, they will also give you face, right?" Lu Ming chuckled. Liang Hua doesn't have the ability to make me leave class 1. Lin Feng threw a punch at Lu Ming's shoulder. Brother, you're so loyal. Lu Ming rolled his eyes, indicating that he didn't want to talk to Lin Feng anymore. Sister-in-law. Lu Ming moved closer to Qingsheng. Just as he said these two words, Qingsheng looked over and Lu Ming realized that he had said something wrong. He quickly changed his words. Sheng, I'll bet a human head that this was done by my brother. Do you believe it? Lu Ming also understood Fu Hanchuan very well. This big show must have been pushed by someone. In the school, there were not many people who had such ability. Fu Hanchuan was one of them. Lu Ming had reported to Fu Hanchuan many things about Liang Hua bullying Qin Sheng. According to Fu Hanchuan's character, he would definitely not let Liang Hua off. Lu Ming was smart. As long as he thought about it, he would know who did it. Qin Sheng glanced at Lu Ming and nodded. Yes. Lu Ming said, Sheng, this is the first time I've seen my brother so devoted to someone. My brother usually despises people. Lu Ming had always been the most despised person in the Lu family. If it weren't for his nature, he wouldn't even be comparable to a servant in the family. His parents did not love him. Fortunately, Lu Ming was already used to it. Otherwise, he would have a heart attack every day. Qin Sheng's heart throbbed. However, she also had a low EQ. She did not notice that something was wrong with her and only frowned. Huang Xiaoyan also finished the snacks in her hands. She came over and asked curiously, "What brother?" Huang Xiaoyan was just eating snacks. Lu Ming's voice was soft, so she only heard a few words. Lu Ming denied, "No, you heard wrong." What a joke. If he dared to tell others about his relationship with Fu Hanchuan, would he still be alive? Huang Xiaoyan was a little suspicious, but she didn't ask any more. On the other side, Zhao Jia saw that Liang Hua had an accident, so she had been absent-minded. It wasn't easy for her to make it to the end of school, but she didn't stay at school. When she left the school gate, she saw a police car in the distance. Zhao Jia's heart skipped a beat, and she quickly ran far away. Not long after, she saw on her phone that someone had said on the forum that the police were looking for her. Cold sweat broke out on Zhao Jia's forehead. She probably understood why the police were looking for her. Other than last Friday, when she asked the gangsters to threaten Qin Sheng, she could not think of any other reason. Afraid that the police would find her, Zhao Jia went to change her phone card. After taking down Qin Churu's number, she called her. "Churu, I've been discovered. What should I do?" Zhao Jia panicked. She had done a lot of things, but this was the first time she had been discovered by the police. She didn't dare to go to jail. Now that she was an adult, if she went in, it would be a matter of going to jail. After school, Qin Churu didn't pay attention to the school forum. Naturally, she didn't know that the police were looking for Zhao Jia. Qin Churu frowned. "I got it. I'll help you." Zhao Jia's worried heart was slightly relieved, but she was still worried. She urged, "Churu, hurry up." Qin Churu was impatient. "Got it." Qin Churu hung up the call with Zhao Jia and casually threw her phone on the bed. Her heart couldn't calm down for a long time, and her hands trembled slightly. She was also involved in this matter. Would it be traced back to her? No, it wouldn't be. She had done it very secretly. No one would know. Qin Churu had always indicated to Zhao Jia to help her do things, and this was the first time Qin Churu had personally acted. Qin Churu was quite afraid. If they found out that she was involved in this matter, she was afraid that others would hate her and that Qin Hai would also find out. However, with a glimmer of hope in her heart, she barely suppressed her fear. Qin Churu turned off her phone because she didn't want Zhao Jia to call her again. Back then, Qin Churu had said that if anything happened to Zhao Jia, she would protect her, but that was just a lie. The Qin family did have some money, but the Qin family couldn't reach out to solve the case. Even if the Qin family had the ability, she wouldn't let Qin Hai help Zhao Jia avoid this matter. Qin Churu didn't dare to expose herself in front of Qin Hai. Qin Churu was an obedient girl in front of the Qin family. If she protected Zhao Jia, it would inevitably make them suspicious. Qin Churu was very cautious and wasn't willing to take this risk. If Zhao Jia was caught and dragged her out, Qin Churu was confident that she would be fine. If she didn't admit it, they wouldn't be able to find any evidence. So, Qin Churu didn't bother with Zhao Jia anymore. Zhao Jia hid for a few days. Seeing that the police were still looking for her, they didn't come to clarify anything. Zhao Jia wasn't stupid. She probably understood that Qin Churu didn't want to care about her at all. Zhao Jia took a retractable knife, put on a mask, and went out. When she arrived near the Qin residence, she happened to see Qin Churu going out alone. Zhao Jia ran over and pulled Qin Churu's hand to a remote place where few people passed by. Qin Churu panicked. "Who are you?" Zhao Jia took off her mask. "Churu, I'm Zhao Jia." Qin Churu heaved a sigh of relief and asked in confusion, "Why did you drag me here?" "Churu, did you help me?" Zihao Jia asked anxiously. She had been hiding for the past 2 days, afraid that the police would find her. She had been staying in a small rented house all day, eating instant noodles, and having nightmares at night. This kind of life was driving her crazy. Zhao Jia also understood that she wasn't pretty and her family was quite poor. If she wanted to have a good future, she had to study hard. Getting into a good university was her only way out. Now she didn't dare to go to school, and she had fallen behind in her studies. Zhao Jia was very anxious. She followed the news on the school forum every day. She found that the police had been looking for her. Zhao Jia suspected that Qin Churu had lied to her and wasn't helping her at all. Qin Churu's gaze flickered for a moment, and she quickly adjusted herself. Qin Churu looked troubled. Jia, I've asked my dad to help you, but this matter is a little tricky. I'm afraid I'll have to wait a little longer. Zhao Jia had been paying attention to the emotions in Qin Churu's eyes. She didn't miss the flicker in her eyes. When she heard Qin Churu's words, Zhao Jia couldn't control her emotions. Qin Churu, it's not tricky. You just don't want to help. Qin Churu couldn't believe it. Jia, don't you trust me? I trust no one. I can't trust you, Qin Churu. Zhao Jia was forced into a corner. She might as well throw caution to the wind. Qin Churu, stop pretending in front of me. I've been following you all this time. How can I, Zhao Jia, not know who you are? Qin Churu's expression gradually turned cold. Zhao Jia continued, you, Qin Churu, are like a big white lotus in the golden age. You pretend to be soft and weak in front of others. You're very magnanimous, but in private, you can't wait for the people who oppose you to get into trouble. Qin Churu, this time, it was you who instigated me to let those hooligans threaten Qin Sheng. You hate Qin Sheng. You hate her because she's prettier and better than you. She trounced you in the monthly exam and got first place. She also participated in the math competition. Because of her, your only chance to participate in the national competition is gone. Also, you like Fu Hanchuan, but Fu Hanchuan likes Qin Sheng. You probably hate Qin Sheng to the bone, Zhao Jia said sarcastically. Qin Churu looked at Zhao Jia with a heavy gaze, and Zhao Jia looked straight at Qin Churu. She was no longer afraid of Qin Churu. Qin Churu, what about you? You've been using me and hiding at the side. If you don't like someone, then you let me deal with them. I'll bear all the danger alone. When something happens, push all the responsibility onto me alone. Zhao Jia gritted her teeth and said, you said that if the matter was exposed, you'd save me. You're just lying to me. Qin Churu tried her best to endure her temper. She said in a good tone, Zhao Jia, you've misunderstood me. You also know that Fu Hanchuan has a strong background. If he makes a move, there's nothing we can do. Don't lie to me anymore. Zhao Jia was no longer deceived by Qin Churu. Seeing Zhao Jia like this, Qin Churu's expression turned ugly. She sneered, Zhao Jia, I won't help you. The police should be looking for you now. If I were you, I wouldn't dare to come out. Hide well. As she said that, she took out her phone. Zhao Jia, if you dare to continue pestering me, I'll call the police. Zhao Jia was so angry that her entire body was trembling. She clenched her fists. Qin Churu, aren't you afraid that I'll give you up? Qin Churu smiled nonchalantly and said, you try. Hearing this, Zhao Jia remembered that Qin Churu had always asked her to do those things verbally. She didn't record it. Qin Churu's impression in front of others was that she was gentle and generous. Even if she said it, they wouldn't believe it. Zhao Jia's face alternated between red and white, and her body trembled even more. Qin Churu moved closer to Zhao Jia and spoke softly. Her words were extremely vicious. Zhao Jia, if you want to be fine, then hide obediently. Otherwise, don't blame me for being impolite. Qin Churu, are you sure you won't help me? Zhao Jia gritted her teeth. These words were practically squeezed out from the gaps between her teeth. Qin Churu shook her head with certainty. I won't. Zhao Jia lowered her head. A hint of viciousness flashed in her eyes. When Zhao Jia raised her head again, Qin Churu sneered and knocked heavily on Zhao Jia's shoulder. The mockery in Qin Churu's eyes pierced deeply into Zhao Jia's heart. Zhao Jia hated Qin Churu and herself. She was very regretful. Why did she help Qin Churu to do so many illegal things back then and become her shield? Zhao Jia took out a retractable knife from her pocket. Qin Churu, wait. Qin Churu stopped in her tracks. She turned around and the ridicule in her eyes grew. Zhao Jia, what's the matter? Zhao Jia curled her lips and raised her hand. Qin Churu only saw a knife stabbing at her. Qin Churu's eyes widened. Before she could react, the knife cut across her face. Ah! Qin Churu felt the sharp pain on her face. She pushed Zhao Jia away and covered her face. Zhao Jia sneered and said, Qin Churu, evil has its retribution. Under the light, the bloody knife was especially dazzling. You're courting death, Zhao Jia. Qin Churu's mind was full of thoughts. She was disfigured. She was disfigured. Her ears were buzzing, and she could no longer hear the sounds of insects at night. Qin Churu pounced forward. Suddenly, a knife was pressed against her chest again. Qin Churu didn't dare to move. Zhao Jia had no way out now. There was nothing to be afraid of. Her face was full of gloom. Qin Churu, if you come any closer, I'll kill you. We'll die together. Qin Churu cared about her appearance, but she valued her life even more. She took a step back. Zhao Jia didn't care about Qin Churu anymore. She took the knife and walked towards the police station. On the other side, Qin Churu's hands were shaking as she picked up her phone. Mom. Qin Churu's sobbing voice was heard. Lin Xia panicked. Roar, what's wrong? I am disfigured. Qin Churu's tears kept falling. Her face was still stained with fresh blood from the knife marks on her face. Disfigured? Lin Xia's heart instantly tightened. She couldn't care less about what happened to Qin Churu. She asked anxiously, Roar, where are you now? I'll go pick you up. It's near our house, Qin Churu said while crying. Okay. I'll be there right away. Lin Xia wore a pair of slippers and ran out. Qin Sheng had just come down from upstairs with a glass of water. Her hearing was very good, and the conversation between Lin Xia and Qin Churu entered her ears without missing a word. Qin Sheng raised his eyebrows with great interest. It seemed like there was a good show to watch. Qin Churu valued her looks very much. After being disfigured, she probably wished she was dead. That night, Qin Churu and Lin Xia didn't come back. The next day, the news of Zhao Jia surrendering came out from the school. Thinking of Qin Churu's disfigured face, Qin Sheng quickly guessed that this was done by Zhao Jia. Qin Sheng didn't feel happy, nor did she have any other emotions. She picked up her phone and opened Penguin. Her Penguin didn't have many friends, so she immediately saw Fu Hanchuan's comment. Qin Sheng's fair and slender fingers lightly tapped on the phone screen and edited a message to Fu Hanchuan. It was mainly about Qin Churu and Zhao Jia's situation. Finally, Qin Sheng tilted her head and thought for a while, then found an emoji and sent it over. It was a pink piglet, an emoji that was acting cute. Fu Hanchuan was watching the video conference at home. He only had one friend on QQ, Qin Sheng. When he received the notification from QQ, he knew it was from Qin Sheng. Wait a moment, Fu Hanchuan said and took out his phone. The company's higher-ups looked at each other. When Fu Hanchuan was in a meeting, he would only turn on his phone unless it was something very important. Did something happen? Fu Hanchuan opened Penguin and clicked on the message box. The first thing he saw was the emoji sent by Qin Sheng. Fu Hanchuan's lips curled up happily. He had been looking at that emoji for a few minutes. The higher-ups saw Fu Hanchuan staring at the phone screen intently, as if he was still smiling. They looked as if they had seen a ghost. In their impression, Fu Hanchuan had never smiled, but now he was actually smiling so happily. Was there something on this phone? Could it be that he had gotten a big deal worth 1 billion yuan? Thinking of this, they shook their heads. It was impossible. The last time they took $1 billion deal, they didn't even see their CEO smile. The higher-ups were confused. Fu Hanchuan finally shifted his gaze away from the emoji package and finished reading Qin Sheng's message. His finger poked at the screen of his phone and sent 2 words. It's all right. Fu Hanchuan did not put down his phone after sending the message. He was waiting for Qin Sheng's reply. A minute later, Qin Sheng still had not sent a message. Fu Hanchuan's eyes were a little dim. He turned off his phone and said, Continue. A higher-up plucked up his courage and asked, President, who were you looking at just now? The other higher-ups all silently gave him a thumbs up. He really had guts. Fu Hanchuan didn't get angry. Instead, the corners of his lips curled up gently. A little pig. The higher-up? Little pig? The higher-ups looked at each other. They could see the confusion in each other's eyes. Was the CEO in love? If Fu Hanchuan was in love, then everything could be explained. Fu Hanchuan was clearly in love. The higher-ups were very curious. What kind of woman could handle a person like Fu Hanchuan? There had never been a woman by Fu Hanchuan's side. Even his secretary was a male. Fu Hanchuan was famous in the company for his good behavior. Although no one had seen Fu Hanchuan before, because of his ability and money, many women had thoughts about him. Some of the female employees in the company wanted to see Fu Hanchuan in the president's office. After Assistant Lin found out, they were all fired. After a long time, everyone stopped having these thoughts. HD Group's treatment was good. To be able to work here was also a matter of pride. Choosing between a career and a vague hope, they naturally chose the position. Moreover, the CEO of HD Group might be a man in his 40s or 50s. Only the higher-ups who often interacted with Fu Hanchuan knew that Fu Hanchuan was young, handsome, and single. Naturally, they did not dare to tell others about this. Fu Hanchuan was in the company, and these higher-ups were not allowed to reveal his identity to others. Therefore, very few people outside knew that the CEO of HD Group was Fu Hanchuan, and even the Fu family was kept in the dark. As for the Lu family, only old Master Lu knew about it. Of course, Fu Hanchuan would not hide it from Qin Sheng. Although he did not openly say that he was the CEO of HD Group, he had never avoided it in front of Qin Sheng. At around 9 o'clock in the morning the next day, Qin Sheng went downstairs to eat breakfast. Not long after Lin Xue returned from the hospital, she was cooking porridge in the kitchen. The maid went to the kitchen to fetch breakfast for Qin Sheng. Lin Xue frowned and asked, "Brother Hai is back?" The maid answered respectfully, "Miss Qin Sheng asked me to cook it for her." Lin Xue frowned even more and her face darkened. "You don't have to bring it to her." As she spoke, she walked out of the kitchen. When she reached the kitchen door, she reminded her worriedly, "Help me take a look at the porridge." Lin Xue walked over and saw Qin Sheng sitting at the dining table playing with his phone. Lin Xue thought of Qin Churu, who was still in the hospital, and was furious. "Qin Sheng, your sister's face was cut last night. She's still in the hospital. Do you still have the mood to play with your phone?" Last night, Zhao Jia had been ruthless. The knife had stabbed deeply, and even if it was cured, it would still leave a scar. Qin Sheng didn't even raise her head. She said casually, "She's not my sister." "Qin Sheng, how can you say that? Unless you're not a member of the Qin family, Roer is your sister," Lin Xue yelled at Qin Sheng. Qin Sheng finally raised her head and glanced at Lin Xue. Her eyes were cold and her lips slowly spat out, "Soon." Soon, she would leave the Qin family. In the future, she would have no relationship with the Qin family. She didn't care about this family anymore. Soon? Lin Xue frowned and didn't understand Qin Sheng's words. Qin Sheng didn't want to have breakfast in the Qin family either. She stood up and said with a smile, "As you wish, I, Qin Sheng, will leave the Qin family. I won't bother you anymore." "You?" Lin Xue didn't know what to say. She just felt very uncomfortable. But soon, Lin Xue suppressed the discomfort in her heart and asked excitedly, "You said you want to leave the Qin family?" Lin Xue couldn't wait for Qin Sheng to leave the Qin family. Ever since Qin Sheng was brought back, there hadn't been a peaceful day in the family. All kinds of unlucky things often happened in the Qin family. In Lin Xue's eyes, Qin Sheng was a jinx, born to counter the Qin family. Without Qin Sheng, the Qin family would have a smooth future. At this moment, hearing Qin Sheng say that she wanted to leave the Qin family, Lin Xue was excited. Of course, Qin Sheng could hear Lin Xue's excited tone. She smiled mockingly and said, "Yes. Qin Sheng, remember what you said today." Lin Xue was still worried. The Qin family could not step into the upper-class circle in H City, but they were well off. Qin Sheng had enjoyed such a good life for so long. Would she be willing to part with it? "I'm a woman of my word." Qin Sheng curled her lips. Today, she could go to Qinquan and give the Qin real estate one last dose of medicine. After she finished speaking, she did not waste any more time with Lin Xue. She went back to her room to get some cash. After Lin Xue received a satisfactory answer, she did not bother with Qin Sheng anymore. When she returned to the kitchen, Qin Hai happened to call her. "Brother Hai, when will you come to the hospital to see Roer?" Lin Xue answered the phone and asked anxiously. Qin Hai's voice came from inside. The company is busy, so I won't go over. Roer has you to take care of her. Lin Xia raised her voice. Roer is your daughter. Is the company more important than Roer? Didn't I say that I can't leave? Qin Hai was getting impatient. Qin Hai, I don't care. You have to come to the hospital today. You're being unreasonable. Qin Hai hung up the phone. Lin Xia called again. At this moment, Qin Hai hated Lin Xia to the extreme. No matter how badly Qin Churu's face was injured, it was not as important as the company. If her face was injured, she could go for plastic surgery. But if the company went bankrupt, then there would really be nothing left. Qin Hai did not pick up. Lin Xia called again. Qin Hai's face was dark as he turned off his phone. Chairman, you must be tired. Li Yan walked over and massaged Qin Hai's temples from behind. Qin Hai closed his eyes and was quite annoyed. It's all because of that insensible person in my family. Roer's face was cut and she insisted that I go to the hospital to see her. Li Yan had followed Qin Hai for so many years and was also a meticulous person. Naturally, she knew what Qin Hai wanted to hear the most. Li Yan frowned slightly. The company is in a crisis now. You are busy dealing with the company's matters every day. How can you be in the mood to care about anything else? It's just that her face is injured and her life isn't in danger. Wouldn't it be fine if she just went to get it fixed? But the company is different. If something were to happen, it would be troublesome. Chairman, you are the one who earns the living expenses of the entire family. If the company is gone, won't they have to drink the wind in the northwest? This sister-in-law's way of doing things is really inappropriate. Li Yan's words just happened to go along with Qin Hai's thoughts. Qin Hai felt extremely comforted. He grabbed Li Yan's hand and sighed. You're still the most thoughtful. The contrast between Li Yan and Lin Xia was very obvious. In the past, he didn't think much of it. Now, Qin Hai was getting more and more annoyed with Lin Xia. Lin Xia had never shared his work. Instead, she had always let him take care of his family. Now that the company was expanding, there were more things to deal with. Lin Xia would not consider his difficulties. Compared to Lin Xia, Qin Hai felt that Li Yan was the right woman to have as a wife. Hearing that, Li Yan smiled. Chairman is very busy. Everyone in the company saw it. I just told the truth. Yan don't worry. I will make you my legitimate wife, Qin Hai said. Li Yan said nonchalantly, it doesn't matter if I can be your wife or not. As long as I can stay with Chairman, it will be fine. A hint of pride appeared in her eyes. It had always been her wish to be the wife of a wealthy family. Hello, the number you have dialed is switched off. When Lin Xia called Qin Hai again, she heard this robotic female voice. She angrily threw her phone away. When Qin Sheng, who had just arrived at the entrance of the villa, heard this movement, she laughed mockingly. If she added to the fire, the Qin family would probably be even more restless. Qin Sheng was very happy to see this result. Because of Lin Xia, Qin Sheng did not eat breakfast at the Qin family. She found a place to buy some buns and a cup of soy milk and came to the Qin Corporation. Now, the Qin Corporation's crisis had not only been resolved, but the company had also reached a new height. Especially the Qin Corporation's real estate industry, which was developing at a rapid speed. Now, it was faintly surpassing the Qin real estate. Qin Quan was very happy and admired Qin Sheng even more. As soon as the front desk told him that Qin Sheng had come, he personally ran downstairs to pick her up. When Qin Quan saw Qin Sheng, he smiled with a rather wretched smile. Sheng Sheng. Qin Quan even called out the nickname Sheng Sheng. His eyes almost narrowed into a line. Thank you for your plan. The crisis has now been resolved. As Qin Quan said this, he led Qin Sheng to the VIP reception room. Okay? Qin Sheng replied faintly. She was not surprised by this result. This was already in her control. Qin Quan was stunned by Qin Sheng's cold voice. Shouldn't she be very curious about the process of the solution and the reaction of the rival company? Soon, he felt relieved. When Qin Sheng first talked to him, she was already confident. This result was also within her expectations. Qin Sheng was very confident, but she had the capital. After bringing Qin Sheng to the VIP reception room, Qin Quan asked his secretary to bring him a document. He pushed the document in front of Qin Sheng. It was a share transfer agreement. Sheng Sheng, thank you for your investment last time. Thanks to your money, our emergency has been solved. The bank and other companies had not been willing to lend me the money. If not for this money, even if there was a good plan, it would not work. This is the shares I give to you. Qin Sheng quickly flipped through the contract. When her gaze fell on the number on it, she paused. That was 5% of the shares of the Qin Corporation. Logically speaking, the money Qin Sheng invested in the Qin Corporation was only 90 million. Now that the market value of the Qin Corporation was high, this 90 million could only get 2% of the shares at most. Qin Quan took the initiative to explain, Sheng, these shares are nothing. If it weren't for you, my company would have gone bankrupt soon. Qin Quan was a person who knew how to repay kindness. Qin Sheng had helped him at a crucial time, so he was naturally very grateful to Qin Sheng. However, he also had another consideration. Qin Sheng was very smart. She was so smart that people were afraid of her. As long as Qin Sheng wanted to, she could drag many wealthy families into the water. This kind of person could not be offended. Of course, if he could be protected by Qin Sheng, the benefits he would receive would be unimaginable. Qin Quan wanted to use this 5% of the shares to keep Qin Sheng. When the Qin Corporation was in trouble, he could still ask Qin Sheng for help. It was a good deal to give this 5% of the shares to Qin Sheng. Qin Sheng naturally saw through Qin Quan's thoughts. However, as long as the Qin Corporation did not seek death, she would naturally protect the Qin Corporation. This was not a big deal to her. Qin Sheng accepted these shares with peace of mind. Seeing this, Qin Quan heaved a sigh of relief. He thought of something and sighed again. Sheng, the firewall you built for the company is very impressive. Qin Quan specially hired some technical experts to attack the firewall made by Qin Sheng, but they did not manage to break through even a single line of defense. Those experts were all sighing at Qin Sheng's power. They even asked Qin Quan about the identity of the person who made the firewall, so Qin Quan naturally would not tell them. After being coaxed for a long time, Qin Quan kept his mouth shut, so they just let it go. Qin Quan really admired Qin Sheng. Not only could she handle the business world with ease, very few people could compare to her. She also crushed a large group of experts in computer technology. Just by relying on one of these two things, she was able to stand at the top of the world. However, Qin Sheng had both of these things. Suddenly, Qin Quan thought that if Qin Sheng used this hacking technology to attack other companies, it would be a fatal blow. Qin Quan's heart trembled slightly. It was better not to offend Qin Sheng. Qin Quan's attitude became even more respectful. Sheng, thank you for creating the firewall. Qin Sheng said coldly, it's only a matter of 2 days. It didn't take much time. Shangguan. A matter of 2 days? Other people had to work hard for a year or even a few years to accomplish something, but she only used 2 days? If Qin Quan had been drinking water, he would have spat it out at this moment. He coughed twice. Sheng, why are you here today? Qin Sheng took out the document and pushed it in front of Qin Quan. Next, you need to do this. When Qin Quan saw the document given by Qin Sheng, his eyes lit up and he quickly took it over. As long as it was given by Qin Sheng, it was all good stuff. As soon as he got it, Qin Quan could not wait to open it. Qin Sheng said, I want you to snatch the largest partner company of Qin Real Estate. Qin Quan's little heart trembled. Snatching the largest partner company would be a great blow to Qin Real Estate. Before this, he had already snatched a few partner companies of Qin Real Estate. If he robbed again, Qin Real Estate would fall into a very troublesome situation. It was not that Qin Quan had not thought about the biggest partner company of Qin Real Estate, but he had no idea where to start. Since Qin Sheng had said it, then he was very confident. Qin Quan opened the document and was quite excited. He read it carefully. When he put down the document, 10 minutes had already passed. This document only had 2 pages, but it took a long time to read. Qin Quan's heart was already itching to give it a try. All right, I'll arrange it later. Qin Sheng nodded and did not stay any longer. She only said, all right, I'll go back first. Qin Quan stood up and was about to send Qin Sheng off. However, he was stopped by Qin Sheng. There's no need to send me off. Qin Sheng left the Qin Corporation alone. After Qin Sheng left, Qin Quan called his secretary and instructed, from now on, when Qin Sheng comes over, you must not offend her. The entire company must be respectful to her. The secretary was a little surprised. This was the first time she had heard Chen Quan give such instructions. It was also the first time she had seen Chen Quan treat others with such respect. However, the secretary helped Chen Quan with his daily work. She had also read Qin Sheng's proposal and understood Qin Sheng's ability. She also knew that Qin Sheng was worthy of such treatment. The secretary did not ask anything else and nodded in agreement. Even now, Chen Quan was still glad that he did not reject Qin Sheng's help. Otherwise, the company was still facing many difficulties. If the opponent took the opportunity to suppress them, the company would probably face bankruptcy now. After Chen Quan finished instructing the secretary, he instructed his subordinates to follow Qin Sheng's proposal and negotiate with the largest partner company of the Qin Corporation. On the other side, Assistant Lin also came over to report to Fu Hanchuan. President, the Qin Corporation is currently negotiating with the Qin Corporation. Qin Sheng did not hide it from Fu Hanchuan. Fu Hanchuan knew that Qin Sheng was using the Qin Corporation to deal with the Qin Corporation. Qin Sheng was very capable. In the end, she was still very weak in terms of connections. Fu Hanchuan was worried that there would be an accident, so he had Assistant Lin follow up in secret. He also asked Assistant Lin to tell him about the progress of the Qin Corporation. Hearing Assistant Lin's words, Fu Hanchuan put down the pen in his hand and frowned slightly. After a long while, he said, "Okay, you guys negotiate with the second largest partner company of the Qin real estate." Last time, Qin Churu had asked those gangsters to defile Qin Sheng. Fu Hanchuan was not prepared to let Qin Churu off so easily. Although he knew that Zhao Jia had cut Qin Churu's face, he still felt that it was far from enough. Now that Qin Sheng had reached the critical moment to deal with the Qin real estate, of course, he had to give it a push. Hearing the words, Assistant Lin sympathized with Qin real estate. They could offend anyone, yet they had to offend Qin Sheng. If they treated Qin Sheng well, wouldn't they benefit in the future? Not to mention that Qin Sheng was capable and could bring countless benefits to Qin real estate. Just based on their CEO's protective stance, if Qin Hai treated Qin Sheng well, he would certainly support the development of Qin real estate in the dark. Even if Qin Hai was a useless person, it would not be a problem for the Qin Corporation to rise into the upper class within 2 years. Assistant Lin knew a lot about Qin Sheng. He also understood that Fu Hanchuan and Qin Sheng were the same type of people. They had their own methods, were black-bellied, and would seek revenge for the smallest grievance. Both of them were existences that others did not dare to provoke. Not to mention that the two of them had merged together. The next day, Qin Hai was having breakfast in his office. His eyes darkened. He had been so busy because of the company's matters that he had not slept well for several days. Li Yan picked up some food for him. "Chairman, eat slowly." Qin Hai's actions did not slow down. He quickly stuffed the porridge into his mouth. He mumbled, "I still have a meeting later. I don't have time." Li Yan looked worried. However, she was not concerned about Qin Hai, but about the company. Qin Corporation had been going against the Qin Corporation. They were fighting for business, land, and partners. In just a few weeks, the Qin Corporation's real estate industry had developed to the same level as the Qin Corporation's. However, the Qin Corporation had once declined. Now, the company's capital turnover was difficult. The Qin Corporation's current situation was not optimistic. If it continued to develop like this, it would most likely go bankrupt. Qin Hai was already in his 40s and was almost 10 years older than Li Yan. Naturally, Li Yan would not really like Qin Hai. When she was with Qin Hai, she only took a fancy to his money. Now, she had also given birth to a son for Qin Hai. If the Qin Corporation really went bankrupt, Li Yan did not know what she would do in the future. Li Yan could only pray that nothing bad would happen to the Qin Corporation's real estate. Qin Hai finished his breakfast in a few minutes. He took the napkin and wiped his mouth. "Yan get ready. Let's start the meeting." "Okay, Chairman." Li Yan nodded. Just as she finished cleaning up the bowls and chopsticks, a manager barged in. "Kinhaifsawen unyapili. Can't you knock when you enter the office?" The manager ran over and panted heavily. "Chairman, something big, it's not good." Qin Hai's heart skipped a beat and his brows furrowed even more tightly. "Speak!" Li Yan also had a very bad premonition and was very worried. "Qin Corporation has cancelled their cooperation with us," the manager said anxiously. "What?" Qin Hai widened his eyes. Early in the morning, the Chung Corporation called and said that they would not sign the contract with us and cancel the cooperation. The manager had not recovered yet. The Chung Corporation and the Qin Corporation had been partners for many years. They signed the cooperation contract once a year. This year's contract had already expired. They had already discussed and were willing to sign another cooperation contract. Unexpectedly, something unexpected had happened. Chung Corporation had broken the contract at the last minute and had not signed the contract. Thus, they had no way to claim compensation from Chung Corporation. Qin Hai naturally understood this point. For a moment, his heart felt stifled. Recently, many of his partners had been taken over by the Chung Corporation. They would rather pay compensation than terminate the cooperation. Qin Hai was so anxious that his hair had turned white. However, the scale of those cooperation companies was not large, so they could not cause too much of an impact. However, the Chung Corporation was his #1 cooperation company. Qin Hai's face darkened as he asked, "Was this done by the Chung Corporation?" The manager nodded. According to the information they leaked, it seems so. Shen Guan. Qin Hai clenched his fists. Qin Hai thought that he had never offended Chen Quan. However, he did not expect Chen Quan to go against him all the time. He had robbed the land, the partner company, and everything else. This was forcing Qin Corporation to a dead end. "I got it, get out." The manager left. Li Yan also knew that at this time, she could not stay here to annoy Qin Hai. She also followed him out. Li Yan stood outside the chairman's office and frowned. If it continued to develop, the Qin Corporation would go bankrupt. Li Yan clenched her fists. If it did not work out, she would go to the next company. If Qin Hai went bankrupt, she would not live such a miserable life with him. Initially, she had followed Qin Hai because of his money. Since Qin Hai had no money, of course, she would not stay. In the office, Qin Hai walked back and forth a few times before he took out his phone and called the chairman of the Chung Corporation. "Director Cheng, we have also worked together for so many years. Why did you cancel the cooperation?" Director Cheng said with a smile, "Your Qin Corporation is facing a cash flow problem and a lot of projects are delayed. I am also thinking for the company. Of course, I have to find a stable partner." Qin Hai said humbly, "Our company is only facing a difficult situation. It will be solved soon." "Director Qin, there is no way to make people believe your words." Director Chung pretended to be troubled and said, "No bank is willing to lend you money, and no other company is willing to lend you money. Tell me, how can I believe you?" Qin Hai was momentarily speechless. Director Chung continued, "Logically speaking, we have been partners for many years. I should help you and continue working with you. However, I am powerless. If the board of directors doesn't agree, there's nothing I can do." Director Cheng's words clearly said that he would not help Qin Hai. Qin Hai's hand that was holding the phone tightened. He really wanted to hang up the phone just like that. However, once he hung up, he and the chairman of the Chung Corporation could no longer work together. Qin Hai's eyes were full of hostility, but his mouth kept saying flattering words. No matter what Qin Hai said, Director Chung did not agree. No matter how patient he was worn out. Qin Hai simply made it clear, "Director Chung, you'd better not fool me. You don't want to work with me at all, not because of the situation our company is facing, nor because your board of directors doesn't agree." Director Chung sat leisurely on the chair. When he heard Qin Hai's words, he raised his eyebrows and did not refute. Qin Hai said again, "The reason why you guys are canceling the cooperation is because of Chen Quan." Qin Hai guessed that Director Chung did not hide it anymore. There was nothing for him to be afraid of at the Qin Corporation. The smile on his face did not change. "That's right, it's because of Chen Quan." Qin Hai's face darkened. "Don't regret it." In a fit of anger, Qin Hai hung up the phone. When he heard the busy tone from the phone and knew that Qin Hai had hung up, Director Chung smiled disdainfully. Qin Hai, what was he? As a businessman, he valued profits. The many years of cooperation with Qin Real Estate were also because of the profit he could gain from it. Now that Qin Real Estate had encountered a crisis, it might go bankrupt one day. Since Chen Quan had found him again, there was no need for him to work with Qin Hai anymore. Regarding Qin Hai's threat, Director Chung did not take him to heart. On the other side, after Qin Hai and Director Cheng finished their phone call, he threw the phone on the ground and the phone screen shattered. He felt that it was not enough to vent his anger, so he swept all the things in the office to the ground. The sound of things breaking could be heard from the office. Liam frownat. She did not dare to go in and pack up his things. If she went in, she might become Qin Hai's punching bag. Li Yan had followed Qin Hai for so many years. She knew his personality well enough. In the end, Li Yan ordered an employee to go in. Sure enough, as soon as the employee entered the office, he was scolded by Qin Hai. After scolding someone for a few minutes, Qin Hai's mood finally improved. He waved his hand and said, "Go out, there's no need to clean up." The employee let out a sigh of relief. Qin Hai barely managed to calm himself down and started to arrange the work again. He called the manager and instructed, "Keep an eye on Kong and Corporation. We must not let them contact the people from the Qin Corporation again." Kong and Corporation was the Qin Corporation's second-largest real estate partner. He had already lost the cooperation with the Qin Corporation. He must not lose the cooperation with Kong and Corporation again. Otherwise, it would be a fatal blow to the company. When the manager heard this, he nodded repeatedly. "Okay, Chairman, I will arrange it right now." Putting down the phone, Qin Hai leaned against the back of the chair and rubbed his forehead with a headache. Was Chen Quan preparing to close the net now? Qin Hai was very unwilling. Previously, the development of the Qin Corporation's real estate was not good. He did not expect that in just a few weeks, they had the momentum to surpass the Qin Corporation's real estate that had been developing for more than 10 years. The key was that this development was achieved by stepping on the Qin Corporation's real estate. All kinds of resources of the Qin Corporation's real estate were taken from the Qin Corporation's real estate. Qin Hai's face was gloomy. When he gained power, he would definitely not let Chen Quan off. He, Qin Hai, would remember this grudge. On the other side, the manager received Qin Hai's instructions and immediately went over to make arrangements. However, he had just finished making arrangements when he received a call from Kong and Corporation. After he received the call, his expression completely changed. He hurriedly rushed to the chairman's office. "Chairman, this is bad. Kong and Corporation wants to cancel the cooperation too." Qin Hai stood up abruptly and his expression changed drastically. "Our cooperation contract hasn't expired yet." The manager wiped the sweat off his forehead. "They said that they would give us enough compensation for breaching the contract, and they also asked us to send someone over to cancel the contract immediately." Qin Hai's eyes almost went black. He held onto the office chair and barely managed to keep his body from falling down. Qin Hai's chest heaved up and down vigorously. "Is there anyone else who wants to cancel the contract?" The manager lowered his head and answered, "At the moment, no." Qin Hai waved his hand weakly. "Okay, I got it." Even if there were no other companies that wanted to cancel their contract, just looking at the Qin Corporation's two largest partner companies that had terminated the contract was already the most fatal blow to the company. Not to mention that there were already several companies that had cancelled their contracts with them. Initially, Qin Hai had looked down on these companies, but when all of them were added up, it was already quite a number. At the same time, the plight of the Qin Corporation's real estate was reported. Many of the Qin Corporation's companies that had cancelled their contracts with him were also known by everyone. The stock price plummeted. Qin Hai was so anxious that a few strands of his hair had turned white. He clenched his fists and ordered, "Go outside and look for investments. The Qin Corporation will give them 15% of the shares." 15% of the shares was not a small amount. Qin Hai only had 50% of the shares. Losing this 15% of the shares meant that Qin Hai had lost his absolute control over the company. If he did not have to, Qin Hai would never give up the shares in his hands. However, after a day had passed since the news of Qin real estate was released, no one was willing to invest. In their opinion, it would be difficult for Qin real estate to make a comeback this time. Most likely, the money they invested would go down the drain. It would be useless even if they took that 15% of the shares. Their money did not come from the wind. They would not invest in a company that was destined to lose money. On the second day, Qin real estate's shares were still falling. The shareholders all sold off their shares. Qin Hai was so anxious that he did not sleep the whole night. "President, the chairman of Feng Entertainment is here. He wants to talk to you about investing." At noon, the manager came to look for Qinhai again. When Qinhai heard this, hope rose in his heart. I'll be there right away. Qinhai went downstairs and personally led Feng Shuo to the VIP reception room. Qinhai was very obsequious. Hello, Chairman Feng. Feng Shuo narrowed his eyes and sized up Qinhai. He was expressionless, but he was muttering in his heart. He was Qin Sheng's father? He had met Qinhai a few times, but he had only heard that Qin Churu was Qinhai's daughter. He had never heard of Qin Sheng. Feng Shuo quickly made up his mind. He felt that Qinhai was biased and that Qin Sheng was not liked in the Qin family. Qinhai also disdained to say that Qin Sheng was his daughter. Feng Shuo had to admit that he was partially right. Feng Shuo smiled and said, Chairman Qin, I won't beat around the bush with you. I came here today because I want to talk to you about investing. Qinhai quickly said, Chairman Feng, don't worry. As long as you give me 300 million to help the company tide over this crisis, I'll immediately give you 15% of the shares. Feng Shuo waved his hand. I don't need the shares. I want something else. Qinhai sat up straight. What do you want, Chairman Feng? I only want. Feng Shuo paused and raised his eyebrows. Your daughter. Qinhai Sawen? Chairman Feng, what do you mean? Feng Shuo smiled. I can give you 300 million, but I don't want the 15% of the shares. I just want your daughter. Qinhai subconsciously thought that Feng Shuo wanted Qin Churu. Chairman Feng, Rower is still a high school student. She's not suitable. No, not Qin Churu. I don't like her. Feng Shuo picked up a cup of tea and drank it. Qinhai looked at Feng Shuo and a thought appeared in his mind. Could it be that Feng Shuo's target was Qin Sheng? 2 minutes had passed by the time Feng Shuo finished drinking the cup of tea. Qinhai really wanted to ask Feng Shuo if he had taken a liking to Qin Sheng, but he did not dare to disturb him. He could only wait for him to put down the cup of tea. Feng Shuo said, I want Qin Sheng. Qinhai Sawen? How did Feng Shuo know that Qin Sheng was his daughter? He had never announced it to the public because he was afraid that Qin Sheng would embarrass him. He even kept Qin Sheng's identity a secret. Feng Shuo continued. Other than Qin Sheng, I will not agree to any other conditions. Qinhai frowned and hesitated. Feng Shuo did not care about Qinhai. He held the teacup with his finger and said with a smile, Chairman Qin, think about it carefully. The crisis the Qin Corporation is facing now cannot be solved by you alone. Without money, it is impossible for you to solve the current predicament. As for the others, I think no one is willing to invest. Feng Shuo's words struck Qinhai's heart. Besides Feng Shuo, he could not find anyone else to invest in Qin Corporation. Those people were all avoiding the Qin Corporation. Qinhai hesitated not for Qin Sheng's sake, but because he felt embarrassed. Qinhai was a person who cared about his face. If news of him selling his daughter for a mere 300 million got out, where would he put his face? Moreover, with Qin Sheng's looks, if he found a family of equal status in the future and married her off, the benefits he would receive would not only be worth this 300 million. However, if he rejected it, he would not be able to get anyone else to invest in him. Other than the main residence and the house he bought for Li Yan, he had sold all the other properties. Right now, he could not come up with such funds. Seeing that Qinhai was still hesitating, Feng Shuo stood up. Chairman Qin, I'll give you 2 days to think about it. After that, I won't accompany you anymore. Qinhai huziden not that? All right, I'll think about it. At the moment, Qinhai could only stretch out the time to see if there was any other way. Feng Shuo nodded and walked out. Qinhai personally sent him out. With Feng Shuo as a guarantee, Qinhai felt a little more relaxed. Only then did he remember that he had to go see Qin Churu, who was still in the hospital. At the hospital, Qin Churu's face had already removed the gauze. She still had to stay in the hospital to be observed for 2 days. She leaned against the headboard of the bed, her face pale. Lin Xia held a mirror in her hand and was still trying to persuade her. Rower, can we not look at it anymore? Qin Churu insisted, Mom, let me take a look. Qin Churu touched her face. She could clearly feel that there was a scar there. Lin Xia saw that Qin Churu insisted, so she handed the mirror to her. Qin Churu took it and looked at herself in the mirror. She saw the horrifying scar on her pale face spread from the corner of her eye to her lips. Lin Xia looked at her worriedly. Ah? Qin Churu screamed and threw the mirror on the ground. Her hand couldn't stop trembling. She grabbed Lin Xia's hand and cried, "Mom, that's not me. It's not me. I'm not that ugly." Lin Xia's heart ached too. She quickly comforted her. "Roar, don't be afraid. It'll definitely heal." Qin Churu did not believe her. "Mom, tell me, will this scar stay on my face forever? Will it not heal?" Lin Xia was speechless for a moment. The doctor did say that this scar was too deep and there was no way to remove it. "Tell me quickly," Qin Churu pleaded. Lin Xia could only change her words. "Roar, don't worry. Mom will definitely think of a way to remove it. If it really doesn't work, we will go for plastic surgery." In other words, it couldn't be cured. Qin Churu couldn't accept this result at all. She didn't dare to go for plastic surgery. What if it failed? Moreover, she wanted to be a celebrity. If others found out that she had plastic surgery, how would they view her? Qin Churu hugged her legs and started crying. Lin Xia could only sit beside her and pat her shoulder gently. Thinking of the doctor's warning, Lin Xia hurriedly said, "Roar, don't cry. Don't get your tears on your wound." Qin Churu was worried that her wound would worsen, so she quickly pulled a tissue to wipe her tears. However, she couldn't stop her tears. "Mom, you must avenge me. It was Zhao Jia who harmed me. I can't let her have it easy." Qin Churu grabbed Lin Xia's arm, her face twisted and crazy. Lin Xia looked at Qin Churu in a daze. The malice in Qin Churu's eyes made her feel that she was unfamiliar. In Lin Xia's impression, Qin Churu was gentle and considerate. Even when she spoke, she was very soft. It was the first time she had seen Qin Churu like this. Qin Churu only realized her attitude after seeing Lin Xia's reaction. She was also an excellent actress. In an instant, she changed into another expression, looking delicate and pitiful. "Mom, it's all because of Zhao Jia that I have this scar on my face. If it wasn't for her, I wouldn't have been disfigured. Mom, I can't take this lying down." Lin Xia saw the familiar Qin Churu and smiled lightly. What she saw just now was probably an illusion. However, she rejected Qin Churu's request. "Roar, our family's hens can't reach that far. We can't interfere in the police station's matters." Qin Churu's eyes quickly dimmed. Lin Xia quickly added, "However, when she comes out to look for a job, it's still possible to trip her up." Qin Churu nodded obediently. In the end, she couldn't swallow this anger in her heart. She had made up her mind that after Zhao Jia was released from prison, she would also return this knife. Qin Churu gradually stabilized her emotions. Not long after, Qin Hai came over. "Brother Hai, you're finally here. Roar has been waiting for you for the past few days." Seeing Qin Hai, Lin Xia went up and cried. Qin Hai was even more annoyed. His gaze fell on Qin Churu's face. He frowned and asked, "Why would Zhao Jia lay her hands on you? Isn't she your good friend?" Qin Churu could only say aggrievedly, "Zhao Jia looked for gangsters to threaten others. When she was discovered, she wanted me to help her get away with it. I refused, so she..." Qin Churu did not continue what she was about to say. Qin Hai also understood and did not continue asking. He looked at the scar on Qin Churu's face again and asked, "Can it recover?" Qin Churu covered her face and shook her head. "Then find a time to have plastic surgery." Qin Churu bit her lip and nodded. Even if Qin Hai didn't say anything, she would still go for plastic surgery. She wouldn't let the scar stay on her face and let people laugh at her. However, Qin Churu still felt wronged. It was obvious that Qin Hai wasn't thinking from her point of view. Qin Hai was only thinking for his own benefit, worried that she would embarrass him. Qin Hai thought for a moment and asked, "There are still a few months before the college entrance examination. What about your studies?" "I won't fall behind in my studies. The teachers have already taught me what they should. This stage is the time for us to study on our own," Qin Churu replied. Qin Hai clearly heaved a sigh of relief. Lin Xia saw the weariness between Qin Hai's brows and asked with concern, "Brother Hai, has the matter with the company been resolved?" Qin Hai rubbed his brows. "We've managed to get an investment, but there's one condition." "What condition?" "Give Qinsheng to him." Qin Hai did not hide anything from Lin Xia. They would find out about this sooner or later. Lin Xia was stunned. It took her quite a while to react. She asked tentatively, "Did you agree?" "He gave me time to consider." Qin Hai sighed. No matter what, she's still our daughter. Lin Xia's mind became active. She had always wanted to drive Qin Sheng out of the Qin family, but Qin Hai didn't agree to any of it. Was this opportunity delivered to her door? Suddenly, she remembered what Qin Sheng said 2 days ago about her leaving the Qin family. Lin Xia had a trace of doubt in her heart, but she didn't care. As long as Qin Sheng left the Qin family, it would be fine. Brother Hai, Qin Sheng is our daughter. At least, we gave her a life. At this time, it's time for her to repay us. Lin Xia had a calculating look on her face. Qin Hai nodded, agreeing with what Lin Xia said. What are the conditions of that man? Lin Xia asked again. Qin Hai replied, the president of Feng Entertainment. He's 35 years old this year. He already has a girlfriend, but he's not married yet. Qin Churu sat on the hospital bed and listened to their conversation. The corners of her lips gradually curled up into a sinister smile. Qin Sheng was finally going to be unlucky. From Qin Churu's point of view, her face was injured not only because of Zhao Jia, but also because of Qin Sheng. If Qin Sheng had not resisted and been defiled, and Zhao Jia had not been noticed by the police, how could her face have been slashed by Zhao Jia? Qin Churu did not dare to tell the truth, so she could only swallow this grievance. At this moment, when she heard that Qin Hai was going to sell Qin Sheng, Qin Churu heaved a heavy sigh of relief. However, she was not willing to sell Qin Sheng to a man who was not married yet, and he was also the CEO of a large company. Although the CEO of Feng Entertainment already had a girlfriend, what if he broke up with her? If Qin Sheng married him and became the wife of a wealthy family? How could there be such a good thing in the world? Qin Churu thought about the countermeasures. When Lin Xia heard Qin Hai's words, her eyes lit up. She said with a smile, Brother Hai, his conditions are not bad. It's Qin Sheng's fortune to be liked by him. If the CEO of Feng Entertainment breaks up with his girlfriend, Sheng'er will be his legitimate girlfriend. If the two of them become husband and wife, he can help us again and Qin real estate won't have to worry about not developing. Hearing this, Qin Hai also started to think. He had not thought of this level before. If it was as Lin Xia had said and Qin Sheng was given to Feng Shuo, it would not be a loss. Most likely, the family that Qin Sheng found in the future would not have conditions like Feng Shuo. They were all fighting for benefits for the Qin family. It would not make any difference if they got married earlier. At this moment, Qin Churu said, Dad, I thought of someone. Who? Qin Haifawen? The CEO of HD Group. Qin Churu was thinking that the CEO of HD Group would at least be a middle-aged man. He must have already gotten married. If Qin Sheng followed him, she could only be a lover. She would never be able to take a position. Lin Xia frowned and asked, Roar, what do you mean by this? Qin Hai also looked at her. Qin Churu voiced out her thoughts, Dad, Mom, the CEO of HD Group is very capable. Almost all the companies in H City are afraid of him. In front of HD Group, Feng Entertainment is far inferior. Since we are going to marry her off anyway, we might as well give my sister to the CEO of HD Group. After a pause, Qin Churu lowered her head again. I didn't mean anything by it. It's just that. I think we should share the burden for Mom and Dad. Sister can help. She covered her face with her hands, and her eyes were red. If my face isn't injured, I could help Dad. There's no need for Sister to help. There was a moment of silence in the ward. Qin Hai thought for a while and felt that Qin Churu's suggestion was not bad. Qin Sheng was beautiful. Although she was young, perhaps there were people who liked her appearance. Wasn't this what Feng Shuo liked? I understand. Qin Hai nodded. He looked at his watch. I have something to do at the company. I'll be leaving first. Roar, rest well. I'll arrange the best plastic surgeon for you. It was only 3 o'clock now. There was still time to rush to HD Group. After saying that, Qin Hai quickly left the hospital. Qin Churu saw Qin Hai's anxious look. She lowered her head and looked very pleased. Lin Xia poured a glass of water for Qin Churu. Roar, drink some. Qin Churu took it obediently. Lin Xia sat beside the hospital bed and looked at Qin Churu's obedient and considerate look. The doubts in her heart gradually disappeared. Qin Churu was so obedient and always thought of them. How could she not like Qin Sheng? Even if she didn't like Qin Sheng, it was reasonable. Qin Sheng's attitude toward the Qin family was cold. She also often contradicted her parents. As a mother, she also didn't like Qin Sheng, let alone Qin Churu. Drink slowly. After Lin Shia gave her advice, she took 2 tissues for Qin Churu. Lin Shia was a real mother to Qin Churu. After Qin Hai left the hospital, he went to HD Group. Qin Hai was lucky this time. He met Assistant Lin downstairs. Assistant Lin was holding a document and answering a phone call. Qin Hai stood at the side and didn't dare to disturb him. That's it. We can't make any mistakes. After Assistant Lin gave his instructions, he put down his phone. From the corner of his eye, he saw Qin Hai, who was smiling obsequiously. Assistant Lin treated him as if he didn't exist and walked past him without looking at Qin Hai again. Assistant Lin. Qin Hai ran over and stopped him. You are? Assistant Lin frowned and asked. Assistant Lin had been paying attention to Qin Sheng. Last time, he had followed Fu Hanchuan's instructions and ignored Qin Hai for a few days. Naturally, he knew Qin Hai. Now, he said he didn't know Qin Hai and only embarrassed Qin Hai a little. Qin Hai's expression became awkward. He could only answer, I am Qin Hai, the chairman of Qin Real Estate. 2 months ago, I came to look for your president. It's you. Assistant Lin seemed to have just thought of it. He pushed up his glasses. What's the matter? Qin Hai rubbed his hands. I came to look for your president. Assistant Lin rejected without thinking. The CEO has something on, and it's not convenient for him to see a guest. If there's nothing urgent, you can look for him again in the future. Wait. Qin Hai was afraid that Assistant Lin would leave. Feng Shuo only gave him 2 days to think about it. He did not have much time. Not to mention meeting the president of HD Group, it was very difficult to meet Assistant Lin. If he missed today, Qin Hai did not know when he would have this opportunity again. Assistant Lin stopped. He wanted to see what Qin Hai was going to do. Qin Hai took out a photo from his briefcase. It was taken secretly before Qin Sheng was brought back. Assistant Lin, look. This is my daughter. Qin Hai held the photo in front of Assistant Lin. Assistant Lin's gaze fell on the photo and his eyes froze. He took the photo and looked at Qin Hai. Chairman Qin, what are you doing? Assistant Lin could vaguely guess Qin Hai's motive and felt a little sorry for him. Wasn't he courting death? Qin Hai smiled and said, My daughter doesn't have any other advantages. She's just beautiful and considerate. I wonder if your president likes her? Assistant Lin had a professional smile on his face. Follow me. Qin Hai was delighted and quickly followed him. Assistant Lin brought Qin Hai to the office and left. He called Fu Hanchuan. President, Qin Hai has come to the company to look for you. Fu Hanchuan frowned slightly. Assistant Lin continued, he said that he wanted to give Madam to you. He even showed me Madam's photo. I'm sure it's her. Fu Hanchuan's entire body was instantly enveloped by a baleful aura. The corners of his lips curled up into a smile. Tell him to wait. I'll go over right away. Yes. After putting down his phone, Assistant Lin went to tell Qin Hai. Wait a moment. The CEO will be here soon. Okay. Qin Hai was very happy. He would always be willing to see the CEO of HD Group. Assistant Lin also understood Fu Hanchuan's personality. Knowing that he would not be coming over for a short period of time, he returned to the office. Fu Hanchuan was in the study, processing documents. After he was done, an hour and a half had passed. Only then did he put on his mask and go out. He had the same personality as Qin Sheng and did not like trouble. If the Fu family knew that he was the CEO of HD Group, the Fu family would not let him off so easily. Although Old Master Fu and the others did not have much influence on Fu Hanchuan, they would always pester him and take more time to deal with it. It was better to spend more time on Qin Sheng. In the reception room, Qin Hai was very uneasy. He paced back and forth and took out his phone to check the time from time to time. Qin Hai was afraid that Fu Hanchuan would stand him up like last time. Fu Hanchuan finally arrived at around 5 o'clock. He was wearing a mask and a white casual outfit. Fu Hanchuan didn't wear leather shoes, only a pair of sports shoes. When Qin Hai first saw Fu Hanchuan, he couldn't react in time. He was the CEO of HD Group? It was Assistant Qin who introduced him. This is our CEO. Qin Hai's eyes widened in disbelief. Didn't they say that the CEO of HD Group was at least a middle-aged man? Judging from his appearance, he was only in his 20s. After he reacted, he quickly reached out his hand. CEO Fu, hello. The outsiders didn't know the name of the CEO of HD Group, but they knew that his surname was Fu. Qin Hai had done some homework before this, so he naturally knew Fu Hanchuan's surname. Fu Hanchuan glanced at him and calmly retracted his gaze. He walked to the sofa at the side and sat down. Qin Hai's face was a little awkward, but he retracted his hand as if nothing had happened. Where's the photo? Fu Hanchuan's first sentence was to ask about Qin Sheng's photo. Qin Hai quickly took it out. It's here. Fu Hanchuan took it over. The picture was of Qin Sheng sitting on the grass reading a book. She lowered her eyebrows and her fair fingers flipped through the textbook in her hand. Qin Sheng dressed very simply. Her white clothes and jeans gave her a feeling of being a world-class celebrity. Fu Hanchuan touched Qin Sheng's face on the picture, and a hint of gentleness flashed in his eyes. Holding the photo in his hand, he raised his eyes and asked Qin Hai, "What's your purpose?" Qin Hai thought that Fu Hanchuan liked Qin Sheng and was ready to help him. He suppressed his excitement and said the words that he had prepared beforehand. "President Fu, as you can see, my daughter is beautiful. Although she is only in her 3rd year of high school, she is already an adult." Qin Hai's eyes rolled around before he continued, "President Fu is only in his 20s, not much different from my daughter. You are a perfect match. I want my daughter to be your girlfriend." Fu Hanchuan sneered, "Qin Hai, are you trying to sell your daughter?" Qin Hai kept quiet, unable to read Fu Hanchuan's mind. He originally thought that Fu Hanchuan would like Qin Sheng, but now he couldn't hold on to it. Qin Hai's forehead was covered in sweat, not knowing how to answer. Fu Hanchuan lazily leaned on the sofa and asked again, "Tell me, what do you want exactly?" "President Fu, it's like this." Qin Hai wiped his sweat. He did not dare to look into Fu Hanchuan's eyes. Fu Hanchuan's eyes were too sharp and unwittingly revealed a sense of authority. As long as he looked at them, he would feel a wave of fear. Recently, our Qin real estate has been maliciously suppressed by our competitors. Many partner companies have withdrawn their cooperation. Currently, the company's capital turnover is not good. Therefore, I am here to beg you, President Fu, to invest in our company. Upon hearing this, Fu Hanchuan said nonchalantly, "Isn't this selling our daughter?" "Qin Hai?" Why did this topic come up again? Normally, shouldn't they avoid this matter? Qin Hai organized his words and quickly replied, "President Fu, as long as you make you happy, Xing'er will be willing. Not to mention, you are handsome and the CEO of HD Group." "Stop." Fu Hanchuan raised his hand and interrupted Qin Hai's words. Qin Hai looked at Fu Hanchuan nervously. The corners of Fu Hanchuan's lips curled up slightly. "Qin Hai, it seems that you don't treat Qin Sheng as your daughter. Before you met me, you probably thought that I was a person in my 40s or 50s. At this age, I should be already married. Qin Hai, for your own benefit, you sent your daughter to be a mistress. Where is your conscience?" Fu Hanchuan rarely said such a long sentence to outsiders. Qin Hai was rendered speechless by Fu Hanchuan's words. Indeed, he had such a plan. The cold sweat on his forehead dripped continuously. "Qin Hai, our company invests less than 10 people a year, and each company can bring us a huge profit. What qualifications do you think your Qin real estate has to be invested in by HD Group?" "Yes, it's because," Qin Hai stammered for a long time. He could not find anything that Fu Hanchuan would like about Qin real estate. Before this, he had not made any preparations. He thought that just by giving Qin Sheng to Fu Hanchuan would like her, and he would be able to get the investment. Moreover, time was short, so he did not have time to prepare. Fu Hanchuan stood up and tidied his clothes, not looking at Qin Hai. "The type of people I hate the most are those who don't treat their children as human beings. Qin Hai, congratulations, you've become the type of people I hate the most." "President Fu." Qin Hai quickly stood up and explained in a panic, "It was my daughter who volunteered to share the family's worries." "Is that so?" Fu Hanchuan sneered. The Qin family did not treat his Sheng as a member of the Qin family. This time, the crisis of the Qin family was personally planned by her. The purpose was to break away from the Qin family. It was obvious that Qin Hai was lying. Being watched by Fu Hanchuan, Qin Hai felt that his inner thoughts were all seen through. He swallowed his saliva and his face was full of nervousness. Fu Hanchuan did not waste any more words with Qin Hai. Qin Hai, your beloved daughter, Qin Churu, has offended me again. The crisis of your Qin real estate this time also has some of the handiwork of our HD group. For example, the Kongan Corporation, the second largest cooperation company of your Qin Corporation, was meddled by me. Qin Hai's face was full of shock and disbelief. It turned out that the Kongan Corporation and Chung Corporation had withdrawn their partnership, and HD Group had interfered. Qin Hai secretly wiped his sweat and asked carefully, President Fu, may I ask how Roar has offended you? Is there some misunderstanding? Fu Hanchuan gave a faint smile and left the company without answering. Only Qin Hai, who was confused, was left behind. Assistant Lin also came in to ask Qin Hai to leave. Qin Hai walked out of HD Group muddle-headedly. He looked back at this building and a wave of fear rose in his heart. If HD Group really decided to deal with them, Qin Real Estate would have no power to resist. Last time, because of Qin Churu, he lost that piece of land and missed a big development opportunity. Now, because of Qin Churu, he lost a big partner company. The most important thing was that Qin Churu had offended the HD Group. The HD Group was an existence that everyone feared in H City. Now, Qin Hai could only pray that the HD Group would vent their anger and not make things difficult for Qin Real Estate. If the HD Group really dealt with Qin Real Estate, it would be like an elephant against an ant. Qin Real Estate would have no power to resist. At night, Qin Hai did not sleep. On the second day, he called Feng Shuo and said with a very careful voice, Chairman Feng, I agree to your conditions. Qin Hai had no other choice. Now that the Qin Corporation's capital chain was broken, the banks were not willing to lend, and the other companies were not willing to invest. The company's shares were also dropping day by day. If they continued to develop, it would not be long before the Qin Corporation went bankrupt. Now, he could only beg Feng Shuo to invest for him. Feng Shuo had been waiting for Qin Hai's call since the beginning of the day. Hearing this, he nodded. Okay, come to the company later. Qin Hai was afraid that Feng Shuo would regret it. Instead of eating breakfast, he went directly to Feng Entertainment. Chairman Qin, take a look. If there are no problems, just sign it. Feng Shuo threw a contract to Qin Hai. Qin Hai picked it up and read it. He frowned. A disconnection letter. Qin Hai clenched the pen in his hand and asked, This is? Actually, Qin Hai understood what he meant, but Qin Hai was a little resistant. No matter how much he disliked Qin Sheng was still his daughter. Moreover, if the Qin family disowned Qin Sheng, how would Qin Sheng help the Qin family? Feng Shuo smiled and said, just like what you saw, cut off all ties with Qin Sheng. Whatever she does in the future, it has nothing to do with you. You can't use her father's identity to coerce her into doing anything. I can't let her have a vampire-like family. Another thing is that her household registration will be moved out of the Qin family. Feng Shuo saw that Qin Hai was hesitating, so he smiled and said, Chairman Qin, you have no choice. Qin Sheng has sent him. Qin Hai's company situation. If there is no capital injection, not far from bankruptcy. Qin Hai's hand trembled, and he could only sign his name. Feng Shuo raised his eyebrows. Also, sign your wife's name. Also, go back and take out Qin Sheng's account. Once this is done, the funds will be transferred immediately. Qin Hai nodded. He held the contract and walked out of Feng Entertainment and came to the hospital. He threw the contract in front of Lin Shuya and said with a sullen face, sign it. Lin Shuya picked up the document and looked at it. It was a declaration of severing ties. She raised her head. Brother Hai, what's going on? Qin Hai looked impatient. If you don't sign it, you're going to move out of the mansion and live in a rented house. Lin Shuya realized the seriousness of the matter and signed her name without hesitation. Brother Hai. Lin Shuya put down her pen. She had just seen the words Feng Entertainment. Why isn't he the CEO of HD Group? Does he look down on Qin Sheng? When she said this, Qin Hai's face darkened. He glanced at Qin Churu and sneered. It's all your good daughter's doing. Don't you see what kind of person HD Group is? Is he someone she can offend? Dad, I don't know him, Qin Churu said aggrievedly. Qin Hai was also quite annoyed now. He had always trusted Qin Churu, but now, he sneered. Don't tell me that a big CEO would lie? Qin Churu was speechless for a moment. He was the CEO of HD Group. If she said that he lied about a student, he wouldn't believe it. However, Qin Churu felt wronged. She really didn't know the president of the HD group. If she knew, how could she offend such a big shot? Qin Churu, quietly stay for the surgery. Qin Hai was dissatisfied with Qin Churu, but Qin Churu's academic results, as well as her talent in painting, was good. Of course, the most important thing was that the master said that Qin Churu was a lucky star. These were all things that Qin Hai was unwilling to give up. Brother Hai, how could Rower offend such a big shot? There must be some misunderstanding. Lin Xia jumped out to defend Qin Churu. Qin Hai couldn't be bothered to talk to Lin Xia anymore. He strode out of the ward. When he left, he slammed the ward door loudly. Time was running out. Qin Hai had already arranged for people to send him all kinds of certificates. He went to get Qin Sheng to leave the Qin household. Qin Sheng was now 18 years old and could set up her own household registration. Holding the severing ties statement and 2 brand new household registration books, Qin Hai had a strange feeling in his heart. Everything seemed to have happened too coincidentally. It seemed that everything was in the direction of getting Qin Sheng to leave the Qin family. Was this Qin Sheng's design? Soon, Qin Hai shook his head again. Qin Sheng would not have such ability. How could she know people like Chen Quan and Feng Shuo and ask them to help her? Even if Qin Sheng was capable, Qin Sheng had only been back from the countryside for 2 months. What could she do in these 2 months? Qin Hai finally came to Feng Entertainment again. He fawningly handed them over to Feng Shuo. Director Feng, these are the things you want. After Feng Shuo confirmed that there were no major problems, he nodded. Okay, I'll get the finance department to transfer the money to you right away. Qin Hai heaved a sigh of relief and asked again, Director Feng, do you need me to call Qin Sheng to come over now? Feng Shuo looked at the time. It was 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Qin Sheng should still be in class. He frowned. This kind of father, no wonder Qin Sheng wanted to leave the Qin family. Feng Shuo said impatiently, there's no need. After getting what he wanted, Feng Shuo couldn't be bothered to be polite with Qin Hai. He left the reception room without greeting him. Qin Hai's face was stiff. Chairman Qin, please. Feng Shuo's secretary came to invite Qin Hai out. Qin Hai held back his anger towards Feng Shuo. He could only swallow it. After school in the afternoon, Qin Sheng came to the Feng Entertainment Company. Fu Hanchuan had accompanied her here. Feng Shuo had been waiting for her at the entrance of the company since early in the morning. When he saw Qin Sheng, he went up to her. Sheng, you're here. After saying that, Feng Shuo felt a strong sense of pressure. Only then did he realize that there was a man following behind Qin Sheng. His handsomeness made even Feng Shuo feel jealous. He realized that the man's gaze on him was somewhat unkind. Feng Shuo could not help but take a few steps back. Fu Hanchuan retracted his gaze and Feng Shuo heaved a sigh of relief. Qin Sheng nodded indifferently. Feng Shuo brought Qin Sheng and Fu Hanchuan to the office. Where are the things? Qin Sheng asked. Qin Sheng sat on the sofa while Fu Hanchuan sat next to her. Feng Shuo handed the identity and relationship termination letter and household register that Qin Hai had given to Qin Sheng. Qin Sheng flipped through it a few times. After making sure that there were no major problems, she felt a weight lift off her heart. The corners of her lips curled up into a smile. She would no longer have any relationship with the Qin family. In the future, she would only be herself. She would no longer be held back by the Qin family. Sheng. Feng Shuo took out a bank card. Floating Cloud Atlas has already been released. The total box office earnings are 6.4 billion. Our company has half of the box office earnings. In addition to the cost, there is still 3 billion left. This is your 5% profit, 150 million. Qin Sheng accepted it unceremoniously. Feng Shuo felt his heartache as he watched. Feng Shuo was filled with regret. Why didn't he think things through and agree to give Qin Sheng 5% of the box office earnings? Adding the 300 million that he gave Qin Hai, it was more than 400 million. However, it was Qin Sheng who helped Feng Entertainment. If it wasn't for her, Feng Entertainment would probably have gone bankrupt by now. Because of Qin Sheng, Feng Entertainment had developed to a new height. Fei Long Film had also suffered a heavy blow and could not spare the time to deal with Feng Entertainment. After this round of chess, Fei Long Film would not stir up trouble for a short period of time. If he gave it another push, it would probably face the same situation as Feng Entertainment. Feng Shuai comforted himself like this and felt that it was only right to give Qinsheng a few $100 million. Moreover, with Qinsheng's intelligence and ability, it was also his luck that he could get to know Qinsheng. Thinking of this, Feng Shuai promised, Sheng, if you have anything, feel free to look for me. If there's anything I can do, I will definitely help you. No need. Before Qinsheng could speak, Fu Hanchuan answered on behalf of her. Qinsheng smiled and did not refute. The more Fu Hanchuan looked at Feng Shuai, the more he disliked him. He tilted his head and said, "It's getting late. Let's go back." Okay? Fu Hanchuan did not bring Qinsheng home. Instead, he brought her back to the Lu residence. When he opened the door, old Master Lu gave Qinsheng a salute. Sheng, you're free. Congratulations on leaving the Qin family. Old Master Lu was really happy for Qinsheng. The Qin family was not worth staying in. It would be even better if Qin Hai and Lin Xue were like that. Old Master Lu felt sorry for Qinsheng for having such a family. Qinsheng also smiled. Okay, thank you, Grandpa Lu. Although Qinsheng appeared to be indifferent, old Master Lu still imagined how painful Qinsheng felt. Qinsheng had just recognized her biological parents and was abandoned by them for benefits. She was usually even more despised by them. To them, loving an adopted daughter was better than loving a biological daughter. Qinsheng was not liked by her adoptive father's family and had never experienced family love. Qinsheng, who had just been brought back, must have yearned for family love. Who knew that her biological parents were not clear-headed? Thinking of this, old Master Lu felt even more heartache for Qinsheng. Sheng, treat me as your biological grandfather from now on. He looked at Fu Hanchuan again and smiled. Fu Hanchuan's temples were throbbing, and he had a bad feeling about this. Sure enough, he heard old Master Lu say, and Hanchuan. Sheng, you can treat him as your biological brother too. He even specially emphasized, biological brother. Fu Hanchuan. His expression was a little hard to explain. Old Master Lu raised his eyebrows. Little fellow, you want to fight with me? Old Master Lu was extremely happy that he had regained some ground. He hoped that Fu Hanchuan could marry Qinsheng, but Fu Hanchuan's actions made him angry. He fought with him for all sorts of favors and even restricted his contact with Qinsheng. This made old Master Lu unhappy. He didn't want Fu Hanchuan to take away his cabbage so early. He especially emphasized his biological brother. Old Master Lu wanted Qinsheng to develop feelings for Fu Hanchuan later. Even if Qinsheng fell in love with Fu Hanchuan, he could still make Qinsheng think that her feelings for Fu Hanchuan were family. Qinsheng naturally didn't know what old Master Lu was thinking. She nodded, her eyes sparkling. In this world, she didn't have parents, but Grandpa Lu and Brother Fu. Even if old Master Lu didn't mention it, Qinsheng still treated old Master Lu as her grandfather. As for Fu Hanchuan, Qinsheng had always treated him as her brother. Fu Hanchuan rubbed the space between his brows with a headache. Let's eat. Old Master Lu stopped for a while. After dinner, old Master Lu finally brought up the matter of Fu Hanchuan asking him to help. He asked with a smile, Sheng, have you found a place to stay? Qinsheng had severed ties with the Qin family, so naturally, she wouldn't stay in the Qin family anymore. Qinsheng shook her head. Not yet. Hanchuan is the only one living in his place. The place is big and the environment is good. Fu Hanchuan, that brat, is living there alone. Why don't you accompany him and stay with him? Old Master Lu said these words unwillingly. He did not want to set Qinsheng up quickly. It was just that Fu Hanchuan had told him a benefit that made his heart itch. If Qinsheng lived in Fu Garden, she could come over frequently to accompany him. If they were far away and Fu Hanchuan was hindering them, the number of times he saw Qinsheng in a month could be counted on one hand. Thus, old Master Lu could only agree. However, he had made up his mind. During normal times, he could train Qinsheng to think of Fu Hanchuan as a brother. As for his interference, old Master Fu would naturally not worry if Qinsheng did not stay with Fu Hanchuan in the future. Fu Hanchuan, that brat, was very shrewd. Qinsheng, this cabbage, would definitely be brought back to his nest by him. It was only a matter of time. Hearing old Master Lu's words, Qinsheng was still a little hesitant. Fu Hanchuan had mentioned it before, and Qinsheng had also gone back to think about it. In the end, she felt that something was not right. Qin Sheng did not plan to move into Fu Garden and live with Fu Hanchuan. Qin Sheng was also a kitchen killer. She did not even know how to cook noodles. If she lived alone, she could also hire a nanny. Fu Hanchuan liked to be quiet. Usually, the servants would leave after cleaning up when Fu Hanchuan was not at home. As for the food, Fu Hanchuan cooked it all by himself. If Qin Sheng went to live there, Fu Hanchuan would have to cook for Qin Sheng again. It was too troublesome for Fu Hanchuan. Qin Sheng still wanted to reject when Fu Hanchuan brought it up. Now that old Master Lu mentioned it, Qin Sheng thought for a while and wanted to speak. Old Master Lu's aggrieved voice sounded again. Sheng Sheng, are you not agreeing? The words of rejection were stuck in her throat. One of Qin Sheng's shortcomings was that she could not be cold-hearted in front of the people she cared about. At this moment, old Master Lu looked at her, and Qin Sheng could not say no. Sheng Sheng, Fu Garden is very close to the Lu residence. If you live there, you can spend more time with an old man like me. Old Master Lu sighed. When I get older, I feel very lonely. My son is not at home, and Lu Ming is always against me. As for Hanchuan, he often has to go to the company. It's too boring to be alone. Old Master Lu's words were full of tricks. Qin Sheng could only nod helplessly. Okay? Fu Hanchuan's eyes lit up. Old Master Lu was also happy. Okay. When are you moving over? Tonight? Qin Sheng had planned to move over tomorrow night after school. She nodded. Okay? It's getting late, Sheng Sheng. Let Hanchuan accompany you back to pack your things. It was rare for old Master Lu to take the initiative to let Qin Sheng go back. Old Master Lu was not doing this for Fu Hanchuan. He was thinking that if she stayed in the Qin family for one more day, Qin Sheng would suffer another day of grievance. Old Master Lu had long wished for Qin Sheng to leave the Qin family. At this moment, Qin Sheng had finally broken off relations with the Qin family. Old Master Lu could not wait for Qin Sheng to move out of the Qin family immediately. Since old Master Lu said so, Qin Sheng did not stay any longer. She went out with Fu Hanchuan. Lu Ming bumped into them at the entrance of the villa. He had just returned from playing basketball and was now covered in the stench of sweat. Fu Hanchuan frowned when he wanted to get closer. He was very disgusted. Stinky, take a few steps back. Lu Ming's body froze on the spot. He really wanted to walk forward, but he did not have the courage. He could only obediently take a few steps back. He smiled very ingratiatingly. Sheng Sheng, brother. Qin Sheng nodded. Her gaze fell on the basketball. She recalled the first time she went to class 4, when she had a match with Lin Feng. There was a hint of a smile in her eyes. Qin Sheng's expression fell into Fu Hanchuan's eyes. He frowned and said, Lu Ming, go back. Fu Hanchuan felt a little uneasy. Even if he didn't admit it verbally, he was still 5 years older than Qin Sheng. Compared to him, a boy of Lu Ming's age had more advantages. A spring in her heart. Qin Sheng should not like someone like him who was 5 years older than her. Fu Hanchuan felt a little helpless. It seemed that he had to pay attention to the boys around Qin Sheng. Lu Ming met Fu Hanchuan's hostile gaze and was dumbfounded. He scratched his head. Where did he offend his brother this time? Didn't he just come back from playing basketball? Brother. Lu Ming felt very wronged. He was always being looked down upon by his grandfather or his brother. Was it easy for him? Fortunately, he had a strong heart. Otherwise, he would have left home long ago. Fu Hanchuan ignored Lu Ming. He turned his head and said in a low voice, Sheng Sheng, it's getting late. Let's go. Lu Ming watched Fu Hanchuan and Qin Sheng leave, his fingers twirling a basketball. He clicked his tongue and shook his head. He said in a vengeful tone, Brother, I hope you offend sister-in-law. Sister-in-law will have a cold war with you. Lu Ming walked back to the villa. He threw the basketball on the ground and sat on the sofa. Grandpa, is brother on his period? He lost his temper for no reason. Lu Ming couldn't understand it. When he first came back, Fu Hanchuan didn't throw a tantrum at him. At most, he disliked the smell of sweat on his body. But in the end, that gaze. TSK. Old Master Lu glanced at him. He was in a good mood today, and it was rare that he didn't dislike Lu Ming. If he's throwing a tantrum, you should stay away. Fu Hanchuan, this kid, has a strong sense of jealousy. Lu Ming was drinking water. He spat out a mouthful of water and couldn't stop choking. Jealous? Lu Ming pointed at himself. Jealous of me? Lu Ming now understood. No wonder Fu Hanchuan looked at him as if he had stolen his wife. It turned out that he was jealous of him. Thinking of this, Lu Ming's body trembled. If his brother used his little finger against him, he would not be able to withstand it. Old Master Lu smiled indecipherably. He did not interrupt Lu Ming's wild thoughts. He snorted in his heart. With that ghastly look of yours, was it worth making Hanchuan jealous? Lu Ming did not know about old Master Lu's little prank. He had made up his mind to stay away from Qin Sheng. Otherwise, he would not be able to withstand his brother's jealousy. Fu Hanchuan brought Qin Sheng back to the Qin residence. Fu Hanchuan wanted to go in with Qin Sheng and help her move her things, but Qin Sheng rejected him. She did not have many things. One suitcase could fit all of them. If Lin Shuya and the others met Fu Hanchuan, it would be inevitable that there would be trouble. After Qin Sheng finished packing, she brought her suitcase downstairs. Lin Shuya and Qin Churu had just returned. Lin Shuya frowned when she saw the suitcase in Qin Sheng's hand. Qin Sheng, where are you going? Qin Sheng smiled. I broke away from the Qin family. If I'm not a member of the Qin family, I must leave. Lin Shuya had been longing to chase Qin Sheng out. She thought that it was Qin Sheng who caused all these bad things to happen to the Qin family. However, when Qin Sheng really wanted to leave, she felt suffocated again. It wasn't because she couldn't bear to part with Qin Sheng, but because she felt that Qin Sheng couldn't wait to leave and didn't feel any reluctance at all. She, as a mother, had gone through 10 months of labor to give birth to her. As for Qin Sheng, she didn't care about her at all. Ever since she came back, she had never treated her well. Now, she wanted to secretly leave the Qin family without saying goodbye to her. Lin Shuya's face was dark. Qin Sheng, you really didn't grow up by our side. You don't know how to respect your parents at all. The smile on Qin Sheng's face didn't change. Of course I didn't grow up by your side. Otherwise, my biological parents wouldn't treat me like an enemy. Qin Sheng. Lin Shuya was so angry that her whole body was trembling. Qin Sheng had hit the nail on the head and stepped on her sore foot. Not long after Qin Sheng was brought back to the Qin family, Lin Shuya did not have many feelings for her. In addition, Qin Sheng lived in the countryside. Lin Shuya had always looked down on people from the countryside, so she looked down on Qin Sheng even more. With Qin Churu brainwashing them, the feelings that Lin Shuya had for Qin Sheng as a mother and daughter disappeared completely. In Lin Shuya's eyes, Qin Sheng was not her daughter. Her daughter was only Qin Churu. Qin Sheng was the one who had come to break the peace in the Qin family. Before this, Lin Shuya had thought that if Feng Shuo did not like Qin Sheng after they chased her out of the Qin family, she would have nowhere to go. Considering how pitiful Qin Sheng was, Lin Shuya wanted to give Qin Sheng tens of thousands of yuan as a last effort. Now, since Qin Sheng didn't want it, there was no need for her to show her face to Qin Sheng. Lin Shuya sneered, well, since that's the case, I want to see how promising you will be in the future. Don't forget that you won't even be able to eat. Lin Shuya intended to completely abandon Qin Sheng as her daughter. Qin Sheng didn't want to have anything to do with her mother, and she didn't want Qin Sheng either. For her daughter, just Qin Churu was enough. Qin Sheng smiled nonchalantly. You don't have to worry about that. Qin Sheng did not want to waste any more time with Lin Shuya. She pulled her suitcase and walked past Lin Shuya. Qin Churu's smug gaze landed on Qin Sheng's eyes, but Qin Sheng did not care. Sister. Qin Churu suddenly blocked Qin Sheng's path. Qin Sheng raised her eyebrows. She wanted to see what Qin Churu's motive was. Sister, congratulations on becoming someone else's lover. He's even an old man, Qin Churu said in a voice that could only be heard by 2 people. Her voice was filled with schadenfreude. Qin Sheng did not follow her plan to become the lover of the CEO of HD Group. Qin Sheng might even become the wife of a wealthy family. She was a little unwilling at first, but then she thought about it. The one who wanted Qin Sheng was also an old man in his 30s, more than 10 years older than Qin Sheng. If he didn't die, Qin Sheng's life would be ruined. Qin Sheng's gaze fell on the scar on Qin Churu's face and smiled. Qin Churu, I also want to congratulate you. Your face is disfigured. Qin Churu's smile froze on her face. Qin Sheng. Qin Churu gritted her teeth. What are you so proud of? Without the Qin family, what can you do? Rely on men? Qin Sheng, no matter how beautiful you are, you will grow old one day and be abandoned by men. Qin Churu believed that the only thing that could make Qin Sheng proud was her good looks that made people jealous. As for the rest, Qin Churu was unwilling to admit it. As she spoke, Qin Churu couldn't wait to see Qin Sheng's downtrodden appearance. Qin Churu hated Qin Sheng's high and mighty attitude. His indifferent attitude made her seem like she wasn't affected at all. Qin Churu cared about the Qin family, but Qin Sheng, the biological daughter, acted as if she wasn't interested in the Qin family at all. Qin Churu felt very uncomfortable in her heart. This made her look like a clown. The Qin family. Qin Sheng smiled disdainfully. I don't care about it. Qin Churu, you should seize the Qin family. After all, without the Qin family, you are nothing. After saying that, Qin Sheng ignored Qin Churu and pulled her suitcase out. Qin Churu clenched her fists and glared at Qin Sheng's departing figure. Qin Sheng came to the front of the villa and stopped. Scenes from her previous life appeared in her mind. She and Qin Churu perished together in this villa. The Qin family used to be a nightmare in Qin Sheng's eyes. But from now on, the Qin family had nothing to do with her. Qin Sheng turned around and left without a trace of nostalgia. Fu Hanchuan was outside the iron fence, looking at his watch from time to time. Just now, Fu Hanchuan saw Lin Shuya and Qin Churu returning. He was really worried that Qin Sheng would be wronged. Now that he was here, he waited for her early. An hour had passed, but Qin Sheng still hadn't come out. Fu Hanchuan was about to go in when he heard a pleasant voice. It was Qin Sheng's voice. Brother Fu. Fu Hanchuan looked up and saw Qin Sheng walking toward him with a suitcase. Fu Hanchuan heaved a sigh of relief. He walked over and took Qin Sheng's suitcase. He said dotingly, "Let's go back." Fu Hanchuan put the suitcase in the trunk and escorted Qin Sheng into the car. A luxury car drove over. Qin Hai sat in the back seat of the car. When he saw Fu Hanchuan's figure, his heart jumped. "Stop the car," Qin Hai ordered. "Yes." The driver stopped the car. At this time, Fu Hanchuan was already in the car. "Qin Hai Sawen?" This person looked like the CEO of HD Group. However, he soon shook his head. The person with him was Qin Sheng. Obviously, Qin Sheng knew him. How could Qin Sheng know a big shot like the CEO of HD Group? Qin Hai looked at the direction of the car with a heavy expression. He smiled disdainfully. It seemed that Qin Sheng was really a useless person. She found a man at such a young age. However, it was also good that he used her to get the 300 million. As for whether Qin Sheng was willing to be with Feng Shuo later on, he had already gotten the 300 million and was unable to get any further benefits. Qin Sheng was no longer his concern. Fu Hanchuan brought Qin Sheng to his villa, Fu Garden. The villa had 3 floors and the servants lived in another small villa. Unless they were cleaning up, they could not go to Fu Hanchuan's villa. Fu Hanchuan's personality was cold, and the villa he lived in had a white tone. Sheng Sheng. Fu Hanchuan brought Qin Sheng to her room. When Fu Hanchuan learned that Qin Sheng was leaving the Qin family, he was already making preparations. Fu Hanchuan doted on Qin Sheng, but his personality was also a little overbearing. When it came to things that he liked and cared about, he was very selfish and wanted to possess them. But when it came to Qin Sheng, he was very considerate of her feelings. Fu Hanchuan would never touch things that Qin Sheng didn't like. Qin Sheng's room was right next to Fu Hanchuan's room. Qin Sheng opened the door and saw a pink, standard princess room. Qin Sheng's expression was a little complicated. She had long passed that age. Now that she was living in such a pink room, Qin Sheng felt weird all over. Fu Hanchuan asked lovingly, "Sheng Sheng, I decorated it myself. Do you like it?" Fu Hanchuan had looked it up on the internet and heard that girls liked the pink things the most. He had also decorated Qin Sheng's room like this. Qin Sheng met Fu Hanchuan's expectant eyes and nodded helplessly. She said something that went against her heart. "I like it." Hearing this, Fu Hanchuan's eyes seemed to sparkle with starlight. He placed his luggage in the room. Then, he started to introduce Qin Sheng to the placement of various items. There were many, very complete. All the items in this room were personally picked by Fu Hanchuan. He was also the one who arranged them. He was also the one who designed most of the furniture. Therefore, Fu Hanchuan was very familiar with the locations of these items. After this, it was already 9 o'clock. Fu Hanchuan looked at the time and said softly, "Sheng Sheng, sleep early." I'm in the study. If you need anything, look for me. Okay? Qin Sheng nodded obediently. Fu Hanchuan closed the door for Qin Sheng and frowned. He didn't go to the study right away. Instead, he went downstairs and cut some fruits for Qin Sheng. Then, he poured some milk for Qin Sheng. Qin Sheng held the milk in her hand and felt warm in her heart. Good night. Fu Hanchuan closed the door again. Fu Hanchuan had to deal with a lot of documents these few days. Because of Qin Sheng, he wasted a lot of time. The lights in the study were turned off very late. After washing up, Qin Sheng slowly closed her eyes in the princess room decorated with makeup. In the Qin family, Qin Sheng had always been a light sleeper. But tonight, perhaps because she knew that Fu Hanchuan was next door, she slept soundly. Early the next morning, Fu Hanchuan prepared breakfast for Qin Sheng. In the morning, Fu Hanchuan had no classes, so he found an excuse to send Qin Sheng to school. A morning class soon passed. Qin Sheng looked out of the window. It seemed that today was the day when Sui Xiu's grandmother was seriously ill. She frowned slightly and got up to go to the office. Liang Hua had been expelled and her teaching certificate had been revoked. She would not be a teacher for the rest of her life. The teacher in charge of Class 1 was a tall and thin male teacher. Qin Sheng. Teacher Lin asked, "What's the matter?" Qin Sheng answered politely, "I'm here to see Teacher Tan." Okay? Teacher Lin smiled gently. Student Qin. Teacher Tan stood up from his seat. He was a little curious as to why Qin Sheng had come looking for him. Teacher Tan had only been in H City High School for less than a week, but he had heard of Qin Sheng's legend. He was quite impressed by this student. Sui Xiu's reputation was quite well known among all the universities and teachers. Everyone was praising him as a rare genius. He did not expect that there would be a Qin Sheng who surpassed Sui Xiu in the mathematics competition and won a place. This was nothing. After Teacher Tan came to the school, he heard that Qin Sheng's results in all the subjects had surpassed Sui Xiu's. He was completely shocked. What kind of existence was surpassing Sui Xiu in all the subjects? Sui Xiu had won prizes in all the subjects in the country, and he had even won the championship. I want to know if Sui Xiu took a leave of absence? Qin Sheng walked over and asked. Teacher Tan did not expect Qin Sheng to ask this question. He nodded and said, Sui Xiu took a leave of absence. He suddenly left school this morning. He said that something happened to his family. Qin Sheng frowned and apologized to Teacher Tan. Then, she came to Teacher Lin and said, Teacher, I want to take a leave of absence this morning. Teacher Lin had just heard about Qin Sheng and Teacher Tan's talk and guessed that Qin Sheng had taken leave because of Sui Xiu. After spending more than 2 months with Qin Sheng, Teacher Lin understood Qin Sheng's personality and knew that she must have something urgent. Teacher Lin didn't ask any more questions and directly approved Qin Sheng's leave slip. Take care of yourself. Teacher Lin passed the leave slip to Qin Sheng and exhorted her. In the hospital. Okay? Qin Sheng held the leave request slip in her hand. She came to the school gate and took a taxi to the hospital. After the doctor gave first aid to Sui Xiu's grandmother, he walked out of the ward. Doctor, how is my grandmother's condition? Sui Xiu asked anxiously. The doctor took off his mask and sighed. The patient's current condition is very bad. I suggest that we perform the surgery immediately. The earlier the better. Otherwise. The doctor did not continue what he was about to say, but his meaning was very clear. Sui Xiu immediately said, Doctor, arrange for my grandmother to have the surgery. I'll think of a way to pay for it. 400,000, the doctor said, a conservative figure. He then looked at Sui Xiu. Your grandmother is very old now. She has terminal gastric cancer. Even if she has the surgery, the risk is very high. If she succeeds, she won't be able to live for many years. Are you sure you want to have the surgery? The doctor knew about Sui Xiu's family background. He was still in high school at such a young age, so he had to pay for his grandmother's medical expenses. For an adult, it was not a small burden, let alone a high school student. Normally, it was still fine. There was also reimbursement. The hospital fees and medical expenses for a day only cost a few hundred yuan. However, this surgery cost more than 400,000 yuan. Adding on the subsequent expenses, it would probably cost more than 700,000 yuan. This was a bottomless pit. More than 400,000 yuan was not a small amount. A family might not even have so many savings. To Sui Xiu, it was an astronomical amount. The doctor was trying to persuade Sui Xiu to give up on this surgery. However, it was obvious that Sui Xiu would not give up easily. The doctor also saw how well Sui Xiu treated his grandmother and did not continue to persuade him. Sui Xiu clenched his fists. His face was pale and he said firmly, "Let's do the surgery." However, he was worried that once he earned the money, his grandmother would not have time. The doctor nodded. "That's fine. However, you'll need to pay for this surgery before you can perform it." The doctor also wanted to help Sui Xiu, but the hospital had rules, so he couldn't do anything about it. The light in Sui Xiu's eyes dimmed. "Okay, I understand." Sui Xiu's voice was a little choked up. Sui Xiu was really afraid that his grandmother would have an accident. "Dr. Li, please take good care of grandmother for me." "Okay?" The doctor agreed. Even if Sui Xiu did not say anything, he would help him with this. After the doctor left, Sui Xiu looked through the glass on the door at the old woman who was filled with breathing tubes. His eyes gradually turned red, and a tear fell silently. Sui Xiu was raised by his grandmother, and the two of them relied on each other. Sui Xiu had been very sensible since he was young. He also watched his grandmother work hard, so he worked very hard and participated in all kinds of competitions for the prize money. In addition, Sui Xiu was a good student. The school would often send him to participate in national competitions so as to win glory for the school. Sui Xiu was a genius, but he also had a nickname: the competition maniac. Previously, he had saved a lot of money, but after his grandmother was found to have terminal stomach cancer, that money had already been spent. Later, he had to work part-time every day. "Grandma, you will be fine." Sui Xiu clenched his fists, took one last look at Grandma Su, and turned to leave. "Sujixiu?" Qin Sheng's cold and pleasant voice came from in front of him. Sui Xiu stopped and looked over. There were still tears in his eyes, but he could only see a blurry figure. However, Sui Xiu still recognized Qin Sheng. "What's the matter?" Sui Xiu turned his head and didn't look directly at Qin Sheng. He didn't want Qin Sheng to see his weakness. Qin Sheng leaned against the wall and lowered her eyes. "Do you need help?" He was speechless for a moment. After a long while, Sui Xiu's slightly hoarse voice sounded. "Student Qin, do you have any money?" Qin Sheng raised her eyebrows and took out a bank card and placed it in Sui Xiu's hand. 1 million. Is that enough?" Sui Xiu held the bank card and did not react for a moment. He looked at Qin Sheng in astonishment. 1 million, and he handed it to him with ease? Sui Xiu tightened his grip on the bank card and bowed solemnly to Qin Sheng. "Qin Sheng, thank you. I will return the money to you in the future." This 1 million yuan was undoubtedly a life-saving straw for Sui Xiu. He could not refuse it. "No need." Qin Sheng took out a document. "I need you to agree to one condition." "Speak." No matter how unbearable the condition was, Sui Xiu would not refuse it. However, with Qin Sheng's character, she would not make things too difficult for him. "Join our company and sign your contract of indenture for 10 years. We won't treat you unfairly in terms of salary. Take this 1 million as an advance payment for your salary." Qin Sheng's heart was very hard and cold to anyone other than Old Master Lu and Fu Hanchuan. She did not have a deep relationship with Sui Xiu, so she would not help him for free. Qin Sheng saw Sui Xiu's talent and Sui Xiu received benefits from Qin Sheng. It was a deal that did not owe him anything. When he learned that Qin Sheng had opened a company, Sui Xiu was only surprised for a moment, but he soon felt relieved. Qin Sheng was indeed very powerful. No matter what she did, no one would find it strange. Sui Xiu took the document in Qin Sheng's hand and just roughly flipped through it before he agreed. Qin Sheng stood up straight. "Yixiu." Qin Sheng did not call Sui Xiu by his surname anymore and directly called him Yixiu. "In the future, your college tuition and all kinds of tuition and miscellaneous fees will be covered by the company.